Hello to all my fans. My first name is Secret Kismet, and I have a video today that I know a lot of you are excited for. That's right, I am finally ranking the sexualities of all pre-hard mode Terraria enemies. Now, some of you may have seen my labeling Subnautica creatures sexualities video, and I know the comments are full of people who are asking for another one and are asking for Terraria enemies. So here we go. I have them all pulled up here, just pre-hard mode enemies for now. But as you can see, we also have variants of enemies. We have golden creatures. We have critters. Things are pretty crazy with this, so let's get right into it by labeling what sexualities I'm going to be categorizing these enemies into. Um, as always, we're going to start off with um As always, we're going to start off with lesbian. And today, I really think I'm going to make lesbian a dark gray. I'm feeling dark gray, stormy lesbian today. Oh, um, okay. And next, I'm going to go with gay man. Yes, I'm going with gay man next, but oh, sunshine, sunny. We could do a weather theme. So yellow for gay man. Next, we're doing multisexual. Multisexual incorporates bisexual and trisexual and pansexual. Anything that isn't just like gay or straight or anything like that. Oh my God, good thing I said straight. By the way, we're doing green grass for multisexual. Last time I forgot to include straight, and I almost did again. So I'll put in straight with an exclamation point, and I'll do red for lava because lava is an important part of nature. You might not think about it immediately, but it's still important and it's there just like heterosexuality. Then for D, let's get this over with quick. I'm doing asexual. And asexual. I think if you're asexual, you know exactly what color I'm about to pick. Yup, purple. So, and this next one, people always get caught up on this one. They don't understand, but I'm doing omnisexual as the last one. And of course, it's going to be a bright, vibrant blue. That's the color of omnisexuality. And a lot of people don't understand why I put that there, because omnisexual is a part of multisexual, so why would I make them separate? And that's just because I love and appreciate omnisexuality independently from how I love and appreciate multisexuality. Even though multisexual and omnisexual are the same, I think that omnisexual is the most important sexuality in the multisexual sexualities. I know that's controversial because everybody loves bisexual people and loves being bisexual, and I'm glad that people do enjoy that, but I think that we need more omnisexual representation and pride in this world. So the reason why we're doing only pre-hard mode enemies is because even though I have about 700 hours in Terraria, or maybe more, I have never gotten past pre-hard mode ever in my life. So, um, so we're not, yeah. But let's start things off with the albinism antlion. This is a pretty niche enemy to start off with. I can't say I've ever encountered it in game. I honestly kind of would have sworn that it was a hard mode enemy, but I guess that I'm not as intelligent when it comes to Terraria compared to Subnautica. So Terraria fans, I know it's a very queer community. So any queer Terraria fans, which is basically all of them, comment below correcting me if I need some corrections. But I think it's obvious to say that the albinism antlion is omnisexual. I mean, this bright white body that really stands out from the crowd and stands out for other antlions. It's like that is really reminding me of how omnisexuality stands out from multisexuality. So I think there's really a connection there. And that's kind of a hint to where the antlion's going to go, just saying. Next we're doing the amber gem rabbit. Um, hmm. Well, okay. I I think this is kind of controversial, but I am going to immediately put the amber gem rabbit in gay man. It's just something about it being a rabbit. I feel like gay men are always hopping around and eating like I feel like if gay men were like animals that weren't humans, I feel like a lot of them would be rabbits that eat grass. I don't know if that's controversial, but I just feel like it's true. And like this color, like this orangish color, it's kind of giving me the vibes of a gay man that's outside and being hit by the light. So that's why I put that one there. For the amber gem squirrel, it's a completely different story. Definitely asexual. Something about those white eyes. It's just like, I don't know. And of course, that means also the amethyst gem squirrel is going there. But sorry for getting ahead of myself because we have to do the amethyst gem bunny. You might think that this is going to go with gay man because of all the things I said about rabbits and gay men eating grass, but it's actually definitely lesbian. This is our first lesbian entry of the list. I hope everybody's excited. Um, whew. Oh my god, I feel like I'm going so fast. I'm going to slow down a little bit so that we can really digest each of these enemies. So, now, the reason why I put the amethyst gem rabbit in lesbian, it's like, it's hard to define. It's kind of just a feeling. It's like, I think it really goes along with that stormy feel. It's like, if lesbianism is like a storm, then it's raining amethyst gem rabbits. You know, they're like the worms coming up to the soil and digging around in the puddles. It's like gay men eat grass and lesbian women eat like splash in puddles. So next we have all four variants of angry bones. Um I will be putting some variants like in different things, but the all of our angry bones are the same. You might be able to guess it. It's definitely multisexual. I feel like I really associate multisexuality with bones. It's like, I don't know, it's kind of like the bones of the earth. It's like, bones are like like the skeletal system is an important part of like the body. I feel like multisexuality is an important part of nature. That's why I put it as green grass. Um and I mean, look at like all four of them. It's like these are like beautiful variations where they're wearing the same outfit. They've kind of got the same thing going on, but there are little details that are different and they love to be themselves. And I feel like that's kind of like bisexual and pansexual because they're kind of the same thing. Sorry, but they are. But I love the details. I love the little details that make them different. And I feel like all four of these are different like labels of multisexual. Um, Also, my crony Fraser is bisexual. He's a beautiful bisexual man, and he actually loves taxidermy and bones. He finds roadkill and he touches their bones. So I feel like that might be part of the association for me. Next is the angry dandelion. The angry dandelion is a creature I have a lot of drama with. I have a lot of drama with the angry dandelion. I think that's what it's called at least. I do not like it. I like its design, I like its inclusion in the game, but I have a lot of personal drama from my time playing Terraria. I love to get banners in Terraria. That's why I feel so passionate about the creatures and enemies in Terraria. But unfortunately, the Angry Dandelion is a very difficult enemy for me to get a banner of, and that makes me really angry because I really want one because I think it would look beautiful. And in that way, it reminds me of a lesbian. I don't know. I feel like, I know what you're going to say. There's the angry lesbian stereotype. It's like, why would you put the one that has angry in its name in the lesbian category? You're also saying that it really annoys you. But here's the thing, it annoys me because it's unattainable. And I'm not saying that all lesbians are unattainable from me because I have actually obtained several throughout my life as friendships, but I feel like it's like if I wanted like a banner of every sexuality, not like a pride flag, but like a banner, like lesbian would be the hardest one to find. Like I could get asexual. That's the easiest one to find. Asexual, like I could just walk down the street and find it. Multisexual, I feel like that one would be like the second hardest. Gay man, it would be pretty easy, but I wouldn't even look for it. Like I don't want a gay man banner. Sorry. Omnisexual, I feel like you would think this would be hard, but it wouldn't be that hard to get an omnisexual banner. I feel like you just need to be in tune with like a certain like level of the universe, which I think I am. But lesbian, it's like I don't even know where to start looking. I don't know. I feel like I can never get a lesbian banner, just like an angry dandelion banner. And the thing is, if I played in a Terraria world for long enough, I eventually would get an angry dandelion banner. But I never play for long enough that I eventually get one. And I think it's the same thing with if I was looking for a lesbian banner. If I had more patience, and it's the same in Dark Souls. I am not patient, so I'm not cut out for Dark Souls. I've learned that recently. Um, anyway. Let's move on to the Angry Tumbler or something. I think that's what it's called. Let's look at the enemies list on the Terraria wiki. Um, where is it? Where is it? Oh, okay. Yes, Angry Tumbler. That's what I thought. And I'm just saying, Tumblr, like the social media site, this is definitely lesbian to me. The angry Tumblr is reminding me of the type of lesbian that really liked the ship between Korra and Asami from The Legend of Korra back when that was airing and would post about it on Tumblr. And I mean that in a demeaning way. I mean that as like a neg towards the angry Tumblr, unfortunately. And I know what you're thinking. Another angry one is lesbian. Like, wow. And you know what? That's right. That's right. The angry enemies are lesbians. I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. It's a coincidence. It's not because they're angry. And you know what? I would argue a lot of these enemies are angry. Like, do you really think the Drippler is like happy? I really don't think so. I mean, this one's literally scowling, and I can tell you already it's not a lesbian. So, like, really, like, think about it before you get mad at me about it. Then, you know what? Then you would be an angry lesbian. Yeah, so who's perpetuating the stereotype now? Um, anyway, enough defending myself. The angry Tumblr, it's like a type of person where like I look at it and I think that they're really cool, but then I talk to them and there's kind of like these low key like conservative beliefs. It's like they've like kind of like deconstructed the way that they view gender, but maybe not really deconstructed the way that they view like other things, and it's just kind of uncomfortable to talk to them. Um, and I also think that the angry Tumblr, of course, is transphobic. So yeah. Oh my God, I can never remember this one's name. Sorry, I know I'm a fake fan. I know a fake fan. I'm sorry. It's called the Anomura fungus. Yup. Um, hmm. This one, I know what you're thinking. You're immediately thinking it must be omnisexual because of that bright blue eye and body and because it's beautiful. But actually, I do think the Anamura fungus is a gay man. It's something about that jaw. It's like that big hooked mandible jaw. I feel like gay men always have mandibles. It's like people can like tell that a man is gay because of like his haircut or his voice, but I could tell if a gay man is gay by if I think their face would have a mandible. And it's not about facial structure, it's about the way they carry themselves. And the Anomura fungus carries itself in such a way that it literally grew a mandible. And I don't think that's a coincidence. Also, like these six legs, like it's got six legs. I don't know. I feel like gay men have six legs. Uh, um, but next is the antlion. Finally, we're getting more positive. I'm sorry that I've been so negative. Maybe I'm just a defensive person because I get so many haters online. Everybody's like, you're misrepresenting my sexuality, and it makes me so upset because I love all sexualities and I'm a positive person. But you know what? If I'm a positive person, I should just show it. I shouldn't be defending the fact that I'm positive. I should just be positive. So That's what I'm going to try to do with the antlion because the antlion is, of course, asexual. I know what you're thinking. Like another, like this one has mandibles too. So, but it's like it's just like the rabbit thing. Like just because something has mandibles doesn't mean it's a gay man. You know? Because the other ant lions aren't necessarily gay men. If I put every creature that had mandibles in the gay man category, that just wouldn't be fair because the ant lion is, of course, asexual. I mean, if you've ever been to the underground desert in Terraria, you would know that there are lots of ant lions around here, and you would know that they asexually breed. That's the truth. They asexually breed, and um, I know it's like asexual doesn't have to do with like that. It's like you can be asexual and also have a baby. Um, but like there are different meanings of asexual. So like I'm putting antline in the asexual category because of like it's like it breeds asexually. And like I don't think it has like the cognition to really have sexuality. Unfortunately, I think most of them do, but not the antlion. The antlion larva, however, is straight. I know that's kind of hard to believe, but they actually lose the cognition for sexuality as they grow up, I believe, and I believe that all antlion larvae from Terraria are I mean, straight. Um, I don't really have an explanation for this. If you understand, then you understand. I feel like babies in general sometimes are straight. I feel like more babies are straight than adults are straight. Um, so that's kind of my line of logic here. Oh wait, this is the antlion. Sorry to all Terraria fans. I know that you must be really angry, um, because this is an antlion charger. Everything I said remains the same, but the antlion itself, of course, is multisexual. I talked about this a little bit earlier. The albinism antlion is omnisexual because it's kind of like a beautiful version of multisexuality and the antlion. And I don't have much more to say about it. I mean, just sort of look at it. Like, really, like, zoom in and look at it. Look at, like, that armored plating. Look at its red glowing eyes. And tell me you're not seeing a pansexual person. Yeah. Next, we have the antlion swarmer. Hmm. This is a hard one. This is a very difficult one to categorize because I feel like the antlion swarmer could be a lot of things. You could say it's a lesbian because of its gigantic wings. You could say that it's multisexual because it has like those beady weird eyes. But I do think that it's a gay man ultimately. And I know that's going to make a lot of people upset. I know it's going to make a lot of lesbians in particular upset because I feel like the wings are such a prominent part of its design and it's also so like it really looks a particular way where I feel like a lot of lesbians would identify with it. And trust me, I get it because I kind of identify with it too. But I think the mandible really speaks more than the wings in this design, even though you can see less of the mandible than the wings. It's just like I'm really trying to figure out a way to defend myself here. I guess gay men that love Terraria and the Antlion Swarmer, tell me your thoughts. Do you identify with it? Do you think that it's a gay man like you? Like, tell me. I feel like maybe part of it is that its face kind of looks like Ledian, the Pokemon Ledian. I feel like it's got like an antenna and like red and like that type of eye. And I feel like, I don't think it's controversial to say that Ledian the Pokemon is a gay man. So, um, okay, I've learned a thing or two. So this is a archdemon, and the archdemon, along with the antlion with albinism, is these are from like the old gen console version from when Terraria was like taken over by evil witches or something. Like evil witches controlled Terraria and added like an evil turkey monster or something. But they also added the Archdemon and the Antlion with albinism. So I don't really have such experience with them. However, I am definitely going to still categorize them, and I think it is obvious to say that the Archdemon is another gay man. It's like I know what you're thinking. You're really categorizing all demons as gay men, and it's like let's all be very serious here. Gay men can be evil demons, like such evil demons. I know there are a lot of gay men in the Terraria audience, but I look at those blood red wings. Those are made from blood, and they're made from the blood of people that gay men are upset with. I know it for a fact. I know that the archdemon is born without wings, and it gets angry at people who aren't gay men, specifically women. Gets angry at women and steals their blood and turns it into wings. I know that happens for a fact. So, um, that's why the archdemon is a gay man. And I'm not saying that all gay men are evil. I'm just saying that this is an example of an evil gay man. So, next is, oh my god, a lot of zombies with arms. I assume these are called arm throwing zombies. I'm going to try to go quickly. Um, this zombie looks like a beautiful girl, so of course this zombie is also a gay man, because I think that more people need to understand that a lot of beautiful girls are gay men. This is a frozen zombie with an arm. I'm not sure what the frozen zombie would be yet, but a frozen zombie that would hold out a big frozen arm like this, that is just that's kind of ghoulish. So I think that it's probably straight. It's I don't know, it's covered in ice. It's who is that? It's very ghoulish and cruel. So this zombie is covered in arrows, which makes me very sad. It makes me pity it. So I think it's probably multisexual. This zombie has a big water bubble, so of course it's a lesbian because lesbians are always underwater. This one is a skeleton zombie, which is very cool and interesting. It's it is a zombie, but it is a skeleton, and I really wonder what the logic of that is because skeletons are a different creature in this game. Are those skeletons not actually undead, or because this is this zombie can have a skeleton out because it's a rotted, the flesh rotted away where it's only a skull. But what about the skeletons in this game? Are they undead people or what? So I don't know, and that kind of mystery makes it omnisexual to me. I know a lot of omnisexual people are you put this as a different category than you put the first one in it, and it's been so long and you haven't put any more in omnisexuality. Well, here you go. I think that the skeleton with an arm is omnisexual because it confuses me. Sorry. Um, this one has a torch at the end of its arm, and it kind of looks like it's wearing a beret, which reminds me of Miraculous Ladybug, my favorite show, and there are a lot of gay men in Miraculous Ladybug, so this one has beautiful horns, so I think it's a lesbian. This one, ooh, this one's kind of deep because, well, actually, I was going to say this one's kind of deep because it's missing an arm and holding an arm, but they're all missing an arm and holding an arm. I guess they're holding their own arm. I didn't know that. Well, this one's kind of generic then. So what's more generic than asexuality? Sorry, I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm asexual. Yeah, so, but now we have a break from the zombies for a little bit. I just wanted to get through that quickly because I know that not everybody likes the zombies. A lot of people actually find them creepy. So if you find them creepy, you can come back now. Next is the black slime. And I'm really excited about the black slime because this is our first slime enemy, and the slime enemies are iconic to me. I You might think that the black slime is a lesbian because, the gray, Stormy, it's kind of the exact same color, which is beautiful, but I'm not so sure. Hmm. Maybe honestly another omnisexual. I know that omnisexuality is known for being vibrant and radiant, but I think the confidence that the black slime has to be a monochrome color despite all other slimes being known for being beautiful and rainbow. Like, it reminds me of the confidence that you must have to identify as omnisexual in a world of people who are bi and pansexual. And I think that's awesome, and I really love the black slime, and I support it. We have another zombie quickly. I think this is like a brain zombie. If you have your brain exposed, you might think that makes you smart, but I actually think that is a poor decision. I think having your brain exposed would make you be less intelligent because your brain could get hit by rain or sleet. Um, but aside from that, I don't know. It's like zombies are known to like eat brains or something, but we don't know what the zombies in Terraria wanted to, so I can't make that judgment. Um, I'm gonna say lesbian because I know that the brain zombie is also pretty short. Like, I've seen it in game and it's kind of short, and I feel like we need more representation of shorter lesbians. I feel like a lot of people think lesbians are tall, but that's not necessarily true. I have met my fair share of shorter lesbians, so I think the brain zombie is one of those. Next is kind of impossible to see, but I assume it's a bee. I assume it's a bee that comes out of a hive. If you've played Terraria, you might know that these can be a little bit annoying sometimes, but over the years of my life, I've learned to love and enjoy them, which is kind of, that's kind of similar to how I feel about straight people. It's like when I was younger, when I was like 4, I was like, that's so like overplayed. But now it's like, now I support it. So I feel like that's how I also feel about bees. They used to really get me when I was a child playing Terraria, but not anymore. And now I just love them. And when I see them, I get a big smile on my face. Unlike birds, I like birds in Terraria when I was a child, but not anymore. Something terrible happened to me where because I love banners and there's a bird banner. I kill every bird I see to get the bird banner because I want more banners. And I don't know, that just kind of turned into me hating birds. It's kind of like, it was kind of awful. Um, like, I don't know, I guess I fell for like my own propaganda about that. It's kind of a dark story. So I'm just going to say that birds are multisexual. It had nothing to do with my story, but I just have to say I'm really sorry to birds. I'm really sorry that you went through this, but unfortunately, in the next Terraria update, they're updating the bird banner to look really cool. So unfortunately, I'm going to continue to kill all birds I see. Yeah, I'm sorry. Next is a beautiful dragonfly, and I love dragonflies, but also my mother loves dragonflies. Dragonflies are one of my mother's favorite animals, and I think they actually were her favorite animal when I was a young child. She has a dragonfly tattoo, and I kind of have drama and beef with my mother, so I don't know. This reminds me of my childhood because I haven't like seen my mother since I was like 15 or 14 or maybe 13. I don't remember. So I don't know, like it's kind of like really mixed feelings about these dragonflies. So that's just saying I'm going to put them in straight because my mother is heterosexual. But for scorpions, I feel the opposite about. They're fresh, they're new, they're beautiful. I identify with scorpions. I remember the first time I saw scorpions in Terraria, and I felt like I was coming home. I felt so happy. I love scorpions. So I do think that they're lesbian. I think that scorpions are lesbian. And I don't know, look at that stinger. Like it's gonna sting you. It's gonna sting you. But only if it needs to. And that's exactly what it's like to be lesbian. Speaking of something that's exactly like to be lesbian or whatever, next is the blood zombie. The blood zombie is not my favorite Terraria enemy, but I do personally identify with it. If I had to say I was any Terraria enemy, and this is something I've thought about at length before, I think I would be the blood zombie. The blood zombie reminds me of my childhood and my present, which is like meaningful because Terraria has been in my life through my childhood and in the present day. So you might think that I would put the blood zombie in lesbian, and I'm tempted to, but like, despite the fact that I identify with the blood zombie, I do think that the blood zombie is a gay man. I know it's really weird. Like, it almost feels wrong in a way because it's like I identify with the blood zombie and I'm not a gay man. And I also, it's like covered in blood and it's a beautiful zombie. But I don't know. It's like, look at its yellow eyes. It's sunshine. I'm sure you see it. I'm sure that you watching this see it. Next is like a blue dragonfly. I guess we're doing all the different dragonflies, which is a little bit traumatic for me, but I'm going to put it in straight as well. Next is a blue fairy. Ooh, blue fairies. Ugh. I like the fairies in Terraria, but I kind of resent them, unfortunately, because they guide you towards like beautiful treasure underground, but they will guide you towards chests even if you've already looted them, and I have a terrible habit of not destroying chests after I loot them, so they always just bring me to a chest that I've already seen, or to a life crystal when I'm past the point of needing life crystals, and it's like, oh, well, like I get to sell the life crystal, but it's like I also kind of don't care because I'm past the point of needing to sell life crystals for money. So I kind of have drama with fairies, despite the fact that I conceptually like them, and despite the fact that fairies are beautiful and kind of scary. But I am going to put it in omnisexual because I think that the fairies, like, they've kind of got something else going on. Like, you can't catch them. Well, actually, you can't catch them. Sorry. But you can't, like, I don't know. I feel like you can't like keep them in a cage in the same way as the other ones, even though you literally can. It's like when you put a scorpion in a cage, you just have a scorpion enclosure. When you put a fairy in a cage, you're like imprisoning him. And that reminds me of omnisexuality. Also, like it's a beautiful blue color, just like omnisexual. Speaking of beautiful and blue, next is a blue jay or a blue bird or whatever. I love birds. Actually, that's not true. I don't love birds at all, unfortunately. One time I went bird watching, and that was cool. But I don't love birds, but I don't hate birds. And I think that, hmm. Well, blue jays, I think, are known for having beautiful blue eggs. Wait, no, that's robins. Oh. Are robins? Is that a robin? Maybe that's a cardinal. Look, I don't know very much about birds. Um, But I like don't have the same resentment for this bird as I do for the regular bird. Fortunately, I think I'm just going to put it in asexual because it's like I thought that this was the bird that had beautiful blue eggs, but I don't think it does. And sometimes that's how I feel about asexuality. Next, we're going to the blue slime, a beautiful radiant slime. It is, of course, a lesbian, kind of for a similar reason as this water bubble zombie. I feel like lesbians are always under the deep blue ocean, and this is actually compounded by Deltarune. If you know Deltarune, there's a character in it named Chris, aka Chara, and they are always in the deep blue ocean, and they are also a lesbian. So I feel like everything's really stacking on top of itself here. Like it's very solid. Um, Next is like a beautiful like bone serpent, I think, and I love this bone serpent. I remember the first time I saw it, I didn't feel like I was in hell. I felt like I was in heaven. Um, and that reminds me of omnisexuality because the first time that I saw omnisexuality, I was like, I'm not in hell, I'm in heaven. However, I do think it's a lesbian. I think that lesbians are always residing in lava in hell, in a good way. And I know it's like I said that bones are like multisexual because of like my crony, and like this is like a bone of like an animal, which is like what my crony does with taxidermy, but well, my crony loves lesbianism, and I think that he taxidermies as a sign to show that he loves lesbianism. So yeah. Oh my gosh. Our first boss is here. That's right. We're doing the Brain of Cthulhu. That is very exciting. I know. I didn't even know that bosses would be on this list, but I'm very glad they are. I know that everybody is so hyped about this. The Brain of Cthulhu is a um, pretty divisive boss because some people do not like the Crimson very much, but I do, and I I do like the Brain of Cthulhu, but what sexuality is it? Hmm. I don't know. This is the first one that's really, truly stumping me. Well, okay. Let's really think about it. The Brain of Cthulhu does have a bunch of babies. I think that these things are its. No. I don't. Um. I don't know if its babies are here. Sorry, I'm not the Terraria expert, but it does have a bunch of babies. So what sexuality is most likely to have a bunch of babies with it at all times? Um, well, you might think asexual. You might think asexual people would have a bunch of babies with them at all times, but I also want to point out the Brain of Cthulhu in particular uses babies in a very brutal way. It lets its babies die before it. That is very brutal and honestly disturbing. So I feel like asexual that's like if you're asexual you have like a lot of babies around you and you love babies, but I don't know. I feel like straight. Unfortunately, I feel like straight, and it's not because I think that straight people would um use their babies for combat, although I'm not saying that I don't think that. But I think the Brain of Cthulhu is cruel towards babies in a way that only a straight mother could be. I'm really sorry for saying that. I know that half of these in the straight category are currently because they remind me of straight mothers, but um I don't know. The Brain of Cthulhu is brutal in the way that only a heterosexual mother could be. Because I know for a fact that the Brain of Cthulhu's babies are all LGB. Yeah. Next, I don't even know what I'm looking at. It's like a beetle. Let's see if I can find it. Whoa. Angry Trapper. I want to learn about that. Okay, the Angry Trapper's affected by knockback. That's exciting. Oh my god. This is dark and scary. When a man-eater consumes enough human flesh, it undergoes a cocoon-like metamorphosis into a far deadlier form. Oh my god. Sorry for getting distracted. Look, I don't know if I'm going to be able to figure out what this thing is. It's like a vibrant beetle, though. And I think that's all I need to know. I'm putting in a multisexual. I don't think all multisexual people are vibrant beetles, but I think a lot of vibrant beetles are multisexual. It's like it's vibrant, green, and red. Like it's vibrant in more ways than one, like multisexuality. So, if you get it, then I think that you really get it. Like it makes sense. We've got a lot more to go. Kind of so many more to go, but that's okay. Next is of course the bunny, just a classic bunny, and I've already talked about it. Definitely gay man, lots of gay men. I feel like if they were animals, they would be hopping around and eating grass, so pretty easy. Next is a cardinal, I think. Um, I'm going to put cardinal and asexual. I mean, omnisexual because look at its legs. Those orange legs, and they're so far apart. Like I don't know. It connects to omnisexuality to me. What the f is this? I guess I'll get to that later. Um, Next is this type of eye, demon eye or whatever, but it's I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be blind. Look, I don't know, but hmm. Well, I do think that most demon eyes are probably bisexual, but I do think that this demon eye in particular is probably a lesbian. I don't know, something about the color. It's like really like stormy lesbian, and like we're doing like a storm theme for lesbian, so that matters. But next is the cave bat. I love the cave bat. The cave bat is a beautiful creature, and I really accept it. And I think it's omnisexual. It's just, I don't know, those gleaming eyes, the blue body, like it oozes omnisexuality to me. Um, oh God, next is like the scarlet beetle. No. Crimson. No. Cochineal or whatever. I don't know. It's some type of beetle. And we've already talked about vibrant beetles, but this one is more monochrome, so it's not very multisexual to me. I do actually think that this one is also omnisexual. Um, well, I guess omnisexual is multisexual, but like I don't know. Like I feel like omnisexual really does stand out on its own. I feel like omnisexual is a very monochrome type of sexuality. Like all of these are monochrome for a reason, you know? And I feel like something like look at all the shine and gleam on its body. Like omnisexuality is very shiny and gleaming to me. So yeah, that's my reasoning. Next is the corrupted rabbit. And you might be like, what's the corrupted version of a gay man? Just a gay man, unfortunately. Gay men don't like they don't need to go far to become a corrupted version of themselves. In fact, I think a lot of gay men, if they turned into animals right now, they wouldn't turn into a bunny, they would turn into a corrupted bunny. Yeah, unfortunately. However, the corrupted goldfish, hmm. Well, I do always talk about how lesbians are swimming, so I feel like this is relevant. I've said like purple kind of like reminds me of like lesbianism a little bit sometimes, and I don't know, look at its like big teeth. It's like an evil corrupted jellyfish. It's like an evil lesbian that's swimming. Next is like this evil, vicious penguin, like corrupted penguin. This is just too brutal. I do not like the blood pouring from its face. It looks like an injured penguin, and I do not appreciate that very much. So I just have to say, I don't approve of this enemy, but it's not about if I approve of them or not. It's about what sexuality they are, and of course, I do think that it is asexual. It's like, could you see this penguin in a relationship with someone? Like, could you see like this penguin like dating somebody? And I know like asexual doesn't mean aromantic. Asexual and aromantic don't mean that you can't have a relationship with somebody. But like I'm not talking about like when I'm putting things in asexual category, I'm not talking about just like any of these could be asexual. Like, of course, we all know the angry dandelion is asexual because you can be asexual and a lesbian at the same time. When I'm putting them in the asexual category, it's because I think that they identify as exclusively asexual, and I think this one's also aromantic. It's like, could you really see the corrupted penguin dating somebody? Would you date the corrupted penguin? Yeah, I didn't think so. Next is the crab. The crab is very interesting to me because everything about it makes it feel like it's like a critter and not an enemy to me, and yet it is an enemy. And I think that's very interesting. And that kind of reminds me of gay men again because it's like I feel like gay men I always give them the benefit of the doubt. I know I really don't in any video I make ever, but I give them the benefit of the doubt in my mind all the time, and they always prove me wrong, unfortunately. And I wish I could say that wasn't the case, but it really does happen to me every single time. So, next is a crawdad. I love crawdads. I was thinking about crawdads while I was washing my hands earlier this morning. I was washing my hands. I was just getting done in the bathroom, and I was thinking about crawdads and how much I love crawdads. I think they're definitely lesbians. I think both of them are lesbians. They have this beautiful, slender form. And I know what you're saying. Of course, I don't think that all lesbians are slender. And I don't think that being slender is the only way to be beautiful. But I think they have a slender form, and I think they're also beautiful. And I think the way that they as a creature look slender is beautiful. Um, I love that this one is like red and it looks like it's bloody, but it's not. That's just the way it looks. They kind of remind me of shrimp. They're beautiful. They're crawdads. And I actually have several shirts that have to do with crawdads. I have one shirt that says, well, actually, I'm not going to talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. Next is, I honestly have no idea what this is. Maybe this is the brain of Cthulhu's baby. Maybe it's not. I have no idea. Um, I'm going to assume it's the brain of Cthulhu's baby, and under that assumption, I'm definitely going to say, oh God, it's hard because I said that I think that all of his babies are LGB, but I think that they're like different types of LGB. I guess I'm going to say multisexual, and here's where things get like political because I know that a lot of people say that you can't be bisexual in a gay man or bisexual in a lesbian. It's like, what is it called? I don't know. There's like a term for it, but that I don't remember. I guess like people are like, you can't be a bisexual lesbian or something. Um, and I don't disagree with that, but I also don't really care. And I also, ever since people stopped arguing about that on like online like 2 years ago maybe, I haven't seen a single person that says that they're like a bisexual lesbian or anything. Like not even one in years. So I don't know. Like I'm kind of bringing that back because I think that like I think that all of them are like, I'm a bisexual lesbian, I'm a pansexual gay man. I think that this is like the face of that. It's like everybody else kind of forgot about it, but I think that the brain of Cthulhu's babies, they did not forget about it. And I think that's how they identify on a day-to-day basis. Um, it's kind of like how like children, teenagers use xenogenders and like neopronouns. Well, specifically xenogenders. They're like, I'm moon gender, I'm crunch bar gender, and then they grow up and like no adult queer person really uses those except for me. I do. Yeah, I'm wrench gender, I'm January gender, I'm crunch bar gender, I'm Mike and Ike gender, I'm crazy bread gender. So that's a little fact about me, but I think it's kind of similar to that. It's like everybody like thought that bisexual lesbians were like kind of a thing of the past or the youth, but here they are staring at you all the time right now. And they're all babies. So I'm not saying that I agree or I disagree. I'm just saying I think that's what's happening here. Next, I don't know what this is called, like a chimera. I need to look it up. I think it's called something like that. Obviously it starts with a C because it's the C portion of the list, but let's see. Oh, Chimera. Okay. That's kind of that's kind of like a good pun. Where's the blood crawler? Where's the blue jellyfish? Where's the blazing wheel? I thought these were all going to be on the list. Where are they? This list better not leave anything off. I'm going to get very upset. I need to see. Are they even here? I don't think they are. What? What? That's twisted. Whatever. I'm not even going to rank them. Actually, yes, I am. The Blazing Wheel, of course, is a lesbian. The blood crawler, of course, is a lesbian, and the blue jellyfish, of course, is a lesbian. So there we go. Next is a Chimera. I actually didn't really register the fact that its name was a pun on like crimson until just now, and I think that's really beautiful. I didn't know it was such like a jokester of like a creature. I think that's beautiful, and I think the same thing goes for a lot of omnisexual people. A lot of omnisexual people are mischaracterized as very serious or as not existing at all. But I think that they exist and I think they're jokesters. So that's really what's going on here. As for what's going on here, I have no idea. I have no idea what this is. This is an enemy, I guess. Let's see if it's on this list of enemies. I'm not seeing it. I'm also not seeing a cursed skull. Oh my god, this is a cursed skull. Oh my god. Okay, I thought it was like a sea cucumber. I thought that this was like blank space and this was like a mouth. Like I mean not a mouth, like a I don't know, like the base of it. Let's look up sea cucumbers. Like, see, like I thought that like this like kind of like the face or mouth of a sea cucumber was like what's going on here, but this is a cursed skull. Well, that kind of like dexterity of like its appearance is really making me think that it's probably asexual. I feel like asexual people focus on fashion all the time. They're like, I could be a sea cucumber, I could be a cursed skull, and I think that's really cool. Next is the cyan beetle. This one's hard because it's like, of course, like you would think like the cochineal beetle or whatever is like omnisexual, and this one is blue, so it's even more omnisexual. And I'm leaning towards that, but something tells me there's a little bit more to this story. I don't know. Maybe it just has a complex gender, but this isn't like a list about gender, so I don't know. I think that the cyan beetle is omnisexual. It's also not even really cyan. I mean, maybe I just don't know what cyan looks like. Maybe that is cyan. I don't know. Next is like the dark caster or something. I think that's what it's called, like a dark caster. Um, Finally another skeleton in multisexual. I mean, look at it. It's like wearing a beautiful robe as well. I feel like bisexual people are always wearing beautiful robes, and like it's also like casting a spell. And I have a beautiful spiritomb that is shiny named Angel in my Pokemon Ranch, and in my Pokemon Ranch, my shiny spiritomb named Angel that I caught in Pokemon Platinum is it is casting spells all the time, and I think that it's multisexual, so I'm really putting that together here. I have literally no idea what this is. I'm going to try to find it because it looks like a big deal, but I'm not excited to have to look for it. Okay, I found it. Apparently, this is a dark mage from the Old One's army. I want to learn a little bit about it before I make any judgments. So let's see its trivia. Let's see its bestiary entry, actually. A small levitating sorcerer from Etheria who wields dark magic and can even raise fresh minions for the Old One's army. Okay, well, I mean, I'm seeing that it loves to read because it looks like it's on a book, and so I'm seeing that it loves to read. Um, so what sexuality loves to read the most? Definitely not gay men. Mm, I feel like everybody would assume it's asexual, but it's absolutely not. Omnisexual, it's like maybe, but like, lesbian, I don't know. I feel like it's between lesbian and straight. Mm, I don't know. I feel like I always think that straight people are reading, but like I don't think that's actually true. So I'll put it in lesbian. I'll put the dark mage in lesbian. It's also dark. I don't think it is unfair to say that a lot of lesbians have a darkness inside of them. I mean, there's a character in Riverdale named Betty, and in Riverdale, the character named Betty is a lesbian and also struggles with an alter ego called Dark Betty. So I feel like there's a lot of like, it's easy to say that. Next is Deerclops. Deerclops isn't even a Terraria enemy. It's like a Don't Starve enemy or something. And I tried to play Don't Starve together once, and it was the most confusing and terrible experience I've had in my entire life. So I'm kind of angry about Deerclops, and I don't know. I mean, look at that big eye, those big antlers that look like hands. It's really like I feel like it's really trying to. Okay, you know what? Actually, let's really look at these antlers that are like reaching up into the sky, and now let's look at what is it called? Steven Universe Strawberry Battlefield Mural. Okay, I guess it's from the Strawberry Battlefield episode. Okay, so, Steven Universe, like pyramid mural. Here it is. In Steven Universe, very early on, there are these like hands that are reaching up. And when I was like 6 years old, this was like the biggest deal ever to me. This changed my life. Um, because I was like, they're reaching. I guess it meant a lot to me. And I feel like this is trying to do the same thing. It's like really trying to be like, oh my god, like I'm like look, like I'm reaching, and it's like you're reaching for attention. So I'm putting it in gay man. I can't stand it. I really can't stand Deerclops. It's trying so hard to be like an early game boss that you can like get stuff from. I don't know. Nobody's fighting Deerclops, and nobody wants to start fighting Deerclops. I've never fought it, and I probably never will. So, um, sorry. Next is a bunch of different Demon Eyes, and here's where my true feelings about Demon Eyes come out. I think they're kind of basic. I think they're trying too hard. I mean, this one's supposed to look like a UFO. This one's supposed to look like an owl. Like, ew. Unrelated from that, I do think a lot of them are multisexual. But I like that doesn't have anything to do with me thinking that they're basic. I just think it's a fact about them. Next is a regular demon. This is not an archdemon, so it does not have the blood of women. It has actually regular wings that are born on its body. So that's kind of a relief. I do think that it's probably asexual. I think that it has like a very complicated relationship with sex and sexuality, but I think ultimately it is asexual. I don't think that it is interested in sexual contact with others. I do think, of course, that it is interested in romance, but I don't know. This still looks so much like a sea cucumber. Anyway, what even is this? Is this a like the destroyer? Is this like an eater of worlds? What is the destroyer? The destroyer is like the boss, right? Like devourer. Oh my god, I feel really fake for not remembering this like specific thing. I feel really fake because I should remember this. Like, why wouldn't I? The destroyer is obviously the boss. Okay, yeah, this is the devourer. Pretty excited about the devourer. I actually really like it. I really like the corruption enemies, especially the devourer. I don't know what sexuality it is. Um, Actually, I do. I think it's definitely omnisexual. I feel like it goes against a lot of the visual conventions of omnisexual character design, but I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think it's actually a very beautiful thing. Um, and I think that it's like okay, let's really look at it compared to Deerclops. It has like those mandibles that sort of look like Deerclops' antlers, and it has the one eye, but it is doing everything that Deerclops isn't. It's making me feel intrigued and like wonderful in the same way that this Steven Universe mural was making me feel intrigued and wonderful. Like I'm kind of reaching like this towards the Devourer. Um, so I think it is actually omnisexual because I feel like I'm always reaching towards omnisexuality. As if it is something that I care about, I guess. Next is a diamond gem bunny. This is another one that's not a gay man. Gay men actually, I this might be controversial and actually might be problematic, but I characterize gay men as actually hating diamonds. Um, I think that the gay male player base for Minecraft is actually very low because of this. Um, and you know what sexuality is always playing Minecraft? Lesbians. Lesbians are always mining for diamonds. I feel like that's a thing true for the real world and for Terraria and for Minecraft. So, um, now about the diamond squirrel. I feel like the diamond squirrel is not mining. Like, it doesn't represent mining for diamonds. It doesn't represent anything that has to do with diamonds as a physical, like, ore. I feel like it has everything to do with, like, the essence of like a diamond is like this powerful, like sheer symbol of like romance. Like that's what it's like. That's what diamonds are like trying to be. I feel like that's what the giant diamond gem squirrel is trying to be. So I feel like that makes it straight. Because I feel like a big pillar of heterosexual romance is buying a diamond. So next is a black lens demon eye, another multisexual one. It's, I don't have much to say about that. Next, um, I don't really know what this is, and I'm kind of not interested in finding out. But I do think I'm going to put it in asexual because I can't imagine this being interested in anything like that, whatever it is. Next is Dr. Bones. I'm sorry, but I'm a Dr. Bones hater. Dr. Bones is trying really hard to be like a special type of zombie and trying really hard to be like a unique enemy that you have to like do everything in the world to find. And I guess that's true, but out of all of the enemies that have like rare banners, I'm all into collecting banners, but I don't even want a Dr. Bones banner. It doesn't even interest me. Um which I think that's why I'm going to put it in gay man. It's not because I hate gay men, but it's because I feel like most things that have to do with gay men just don't interest me. And I feel like that's the same for Dr. Bones. It's like I'm kind of personally a Dr. Bones hater, but I understand why other people would like it. And I guess that's kind of how I feel about gay men sometimes. Okay, next is a dolphin. I didn't even know this was in any version of Terraria, but dolphins are kind of really evil and scary, even though everybody thinks that they are smart and sweet. However, actually, it's a very common thing for people to say that dolphins are evil and scary, and everybody assumes that nobody thinks that dolphins are evil and scary, but like 40% of people think that dolphins are evil and scary. So I'm going to put that in lesbian because lesbians are like normal, like they're normal people, but like everybody and like some people really characterize them as being like nice and cool, but then a lot of people also characterize them as being mean and evil and think that they're the only ones who characterize lesbians as being mean and evil. But then at the end of the day, like just like dolphins, lesbians are just nature. Dolphins and lesbians are just nature. So yeah. Next, I think this is like a moss hornets or something. I don't know why it's in D. Is this like a dark hornets, like a deep hornets? I don't know. I think it's a moss hornet, but no, isn't a moss hornet like a hard mode enemy? Oh my god. My like fake is coming out again. I'm so fake. Let me see. Okay, it's a dragon hornet. I should have known it's a dragon hornet. Um, well, nothing about this is making me feel like it's a dragon. It feels like a pretty fake dragon, unfortunately. I wish I could say it's a more true dragon, but I just literally can't. Um, sorry. I it looks so much like a moss hornet to me. It looks like it would be a moss hornet, but this probably existed before moss hornet, so I can't be that judgmental. I think I'm going to put it in omnisexual because you might not be able to see it at first, but it does have a blue eye, just like omnisexuality. See, blue. And also, I don't know. I think it's actually mostly the body. This like body is really giving me the vibes of omnisexual. It's like it's curved, it's hooked, it's got like this stinger at the bottom, and on like the scorpion, I do think it will use it. So, next is the dragon skull. This is another enemy from like the 3DS era. I need to know more about the dragon skull. I need to know where it would appear and what it would do. Um, Because the evil witches that made this creature, like, what do they want from it? Oh God. Okay, it's a flying enemy in the dungeon. Um, Dungeon enemies are very like skeleton themed. This would really scare me to see if I wasn't expecting it. Oh my God, it high damage, slow speed, and the ability to travel through tiles. Um, Oh, wait a second. Okay, yeah. I'm I'm terrified. I'm like literally terrified of the dragon skull. So great. I think it looks cool, I guess, but I'm terrified of it. I feel like a lot of people would again think that the dragon skull is a lesbian. I do not personally believe that. I could see that interpretation, and if you have that interpretation, I definitely respect it. But it's not my interpretation. I do think that the dragon skull is multisexual. I don't know. I guess it's like it moves very slowly towards the player and it deals high damage, and that's not how dragons move. Like at all. That's like not how any type of dragon is characterized to move, like slowly floating through matter. Like I don't get it at all. Um, but it is green like grass, just like multisexual. It comes in different colors, just like grass. I mean, just like multisexuality. So I'm inclined to say that it's multisexual out of everything. As for the Dragon Snatcher now, I actually do have experience with the Dragon Snatcher. One of the first versions I played Terraria on was the Wii U, and it had the Dragon Snatcher, and I actually got the 1 in 200 chance for a Dragon Snatcher banner, and I was very happy about it. In that version, you don't get banners after defeating 50 enemies. It's a 1 in 200 drop from every enemy. And I got one from the Dragon Snatcher, and it really thrilled me. So I actually have very positive memories of the Dragon Snatcher. Um, I think I'm going to put it in. It's also multisexual. The thing is that I'm afraid of the Dragon Skull, but I feel like the Dragon Skull and the Dragon Snatcher need to be like reunited. I think it's really sad that they are apart and in such different locations. One's in the jungle, one's in the dungeon. That is just sad. And you know what? Who put this in the dungeon? Because dungeons are like you're like locked away. That's why they're like skeletons in the dungeon because it's like they were locked away for so long that they died. Who put this dragon in the dungeon? That is really sad to me. Actually, I'm on the dragon skull side now because it's not its fault that it's in the dungeon. It is somebody else's. And I think that the dragon skull it is slowly moving just because it wants to get to the dragon snatcher, but it's been so long that it doesn't even know where it wants to go anymore. And that is so sad. Next is the Drippler. I love the Drippler. I love the Drippler. I love its aquamarine eyes. I love its big body. I love everything about the Drippler. The Drippler is achieving everything that the Demon Eye is trying to achieve. I love the Drippler. I think it's in a QPR with like everything. I think that the Drippler has like a personal relationship with most enemies and a QPR with a lot of them. Um, but it's really hard to say. All of these big blue eyes, you might think omnisexual because omnisexuality is blue in nature, but no, I'm gonna put it in multisexual again because it's like usually I don't use this type of logic, but I think it does apply for the Drippler. If the Drippler is going to be in like these um these relationships with people, these QPRs with like a bunch of enemies and stuff, I feel like it makes sense for it to be multisexual because it's in all these different types of relationships. It's in gay male relationships, it's in lesbian relationships. I feel like it needs to be like multisexual to do that. Next is a duck. I feel so neutrally to Terraria ducks, just like I feel very neutrally to saying that they're straight. I don't know. Ducks have like sexual dimorphism, and it's not like sexual dimorphism means that you're straight, but I feel like a big pillar of heterosexuality, aside from buying diamonds and um, putting babies on the battlefield, I guess, is I feel like sexual dimorphism. I feel like heterosexual people are all about the idea that there is sexual dimorphism in humans when there kind of isn't in like a major way, and I feel like it's kind of the same for ducks because what's with mallards like let's look at some mallards. Like they're just crazy. They're like like I like the way that both types of ducks look, but it's like these are the boys and these are the girls. That's just weird. That is just weird. So I feel like it makes sense. Next is the Dungeon Guardian. I have a history with the Dungeon Guardian. If you don't know, the Dungeon Guardian drops like a skull key or something, which will give you like a special Dungeon Guardian pet. And just like collecting banners, I love to collect pets. So one time I was playing Terraria on my Switch and I was doing like a special setup to kill the Dungeon Guardian while I was arguing with a teacher in high school on the phone. I don't really remember what we were arguing about. I don't really think it was an argument. It was probably a lot more sad than an argument. I was probably just quietly disagreeing, but it was happening while I was killing the Dungeon Guardian, and I will never forget it because that was also the era in which I first was watching Bob's Burgers, and I really like Bob's Burgers, so I have very positive memories with the Dungeon Guardian. And I think I'm going to say Gay Man. I've been giving gay men a lot of flack and rap or whatever the word is um, in this video. And I just want to say I have a lot of memories with gay men. Do I have any gay male friends? No. Have I ever really had any gay men friends? Um, Nothing comes to mind. And do I want a gay male friend? Um, Well, I'm just saying I love the Dungeon Guardian. I think the Dungeon Guardian is a gay man. So if you're a gay man who loves Terraria and you're offended by my opinions, all I have to say is I love the Dungeon Guardian, and through that I love you. Next is the corrupted slime, I think. Maybe it's like a. Oh, no. This is the dungeon slime. I'm fake. I'm fake. I know I'm fake. Put me in the fake house. But this is the dungeon slime. I love the dungeon slime. I do think it's a lesbian. I think we need more lesbian slimes in the world. I mean, it's kind of got like a purple sheen. It's just the regular slime, but it's more purple and it's in a dungeon. That's literally lesbians are always in a dark gloomy dungeon. So next is the Eater of Souls. We have finally reached the letter E on our list, and I'm very excited. As I said before, I love corrupted enemies. I love enemies from the corruption. Um, they do have big mandibles, and I know what you're thinking. Mandibles, gay man, mandibles, gay man. No. Yet again, it's like the mandibles, like mandibles can mean that something's a gay man, but it doesn't mean that it has to be a gay man. Let's be adults here, okay? Um, Hmm. The Eater of Souls, it has all these beautiful tassels. You see these beautiful green tassels? It's reminding me of grass. It's reminding me of beautiful grass. I know the corruption, it like corrupts grass, it makes grass evil, but like I think that's actually not true. The corruption is a force of nature and goodwill, I actually think. So, um, but of course, next is the Eater of Worlds. The Eater of Worlds is a gay man, and yes, it's because of the mandibles. I mean, now it's got even more mandibles, I think. And that's like, look at these big mandibles. Like, they're really big. I don't think anything can have this big of mandibles and be, like, not a gay man. Oh god. Next is the Emerald Rabbit, the Emerald Gem Rabbit. I'm so excited about this one. Um, I do think that it's a gay man. Yeah, I do. It follows the logic of hopping around and eating grass. And like I don't know, something about like the way that it shines emerald green. I feel like gay men like emeralds. I was going to look up if gay men like emeralds, but I realized I've been looking up too many things and I don't think I would get a good answer. So I feel like gay men like emeralds. I mean, there's Pokemon Emerald, there's a Pokemon game called Pokemon Emerald, and I feel like that one's pretty popular with gay men. If you're a gay man who loves Pokemon Emerald, please comment because I need your input. Next is the Emerald Gem Squirrel, and I'm a bit concerned because what's with that yellow? It's got like yellow detailing. I think that's kind of gross. I think it looks gross. It looks mysterious and gross, and I'm not a fan. And I'm definitely going to put it in omnisexual because I think it's gross, but that doesn't mean that it is gross. Like, I just don't understand it. And I feel like I don't really understand omnisexuality a lot. And I don't think omnisexuality is gross or anything, but I feel like I don't understand it. And I also don't understand the Emerald Gem Squirrel. I don't know what's going on in its life at all. So I'm putting it there. Next is the like enchanted worm. I didn't even know that this counted as like a critter. I guess that makes sense, but this is like kind of mysterious because you have to like craft this. It's like a craftable item. So I don't know, it's kind of man-made. Just like the constructs of heterosexuality. Heteronormativity is man-made just like the enchanted worm. Next, I don't really know what these are, and I don't know if I approve of them, but I'll I'll do my research. Okay, they're Etherian goblins, of course. I should have known they were Etherian goblins. I don't even want to put them on this list. I don't give a F about them, unfortunately. I'm sorry, I know that's controversial, but I really just don't. Um, but I guess I have to. I'm so upset that I have to do this, but whatever. This is like when I had to put the Lily Paddler on the list in my Subnautica video. It's like the same thing. It's like really like I had to put these three Ethereum goblins somewhere. I don't want to do it, but I will. I think this one's got like these big curved ears that are curving upwards, and I kind of like them. It reminds me of one of my favorite Pokemon, Morgram, and Morgram of course has lesbian vibes, I guess. Um This one has an axe. It's really clinging to this axe in a way that's sort of pathetic. Unfortunately, I just have to say. I think that this one's probably asexual for no real reason. This one has like a big javelin or something, and I don't support that. I don't support big javelins. Um, so I don't know. I think maybe it's a gay man. It's kind of like a gay man to me. Next, I don't really know what this is either, but I like it more. Oh, of course, it's an Etherian wyvern. Lots of Etherian enemies. I like this one more, though. I like that it's a beautiful pink wyvern. This is a very unique looking wyvern. And it might be Etherian, but I actually think it's ethereal. I love it. Um, so I do think that it's actually multisexual. I think that I don't know, it's like it's got wings, it's got like that big horn, it's got like a big tail. It can do anything. Just like a multisexual person. If you're multisexual, just know I think that you can do anything. And I think that you should sing more. I think that all multisexual people have beautiful voices. I think that they all need to let it out more. And I might not be multisexual, but I am going to sing a little bit. And this is my message to all multisexual people. You are beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can bring you down. No. Yeah. Do not let anything bring you down if you're multisexual, or if you're a gay man, or if you're a lesbian, or if you're straight, or if you're asexual, or if you're omnisexual. Don't let anything bring you down. Next is an exploding bunny. This is kind of dramatic because, like, it's like bunnies, like that's gay men, right? Like that's what we're all thinking. But, like this one explodes. Like, gay men are like corrupted bunnies. It's like that's easy to say, but like, are gay men like exploding bunnies? And it's like we really need to get to the bottom of what an exploding bunny is doing. Is it trying to explode? Is it exploding on purpose? Or is it being put in a position by somebody else? I think it's being put in a position by somebody else. And who always has to explode because they're put in a position by somebody else? Lesbians. Who always has to like be the one who's like in the crossfire because of the actions of somebody else? Lesbians. Yeah. Next is the Eye of Cthulhu. The Eye of Cthulhu is a classic. You could even say maybe it's partially the mascot of the game. Everybody loves the Eye of Cthulhu. It's beautiful. It is a beautiful, perfect first boss. Everybody loves it. Nobody's any issues with it. It also has a beautiful face where it has gigantic teeth, and I think that is wonderful because I think that I think that having big teeth and having good dental hygiene and eating is all good. Um, But for the sexuality of the Eye of Cthulhu from Terraria, I'm I this is another one that I really don't know. Actually, maybe I think I'm going to say asexual. I'm not saying asexual completely fits, but I I could see it like not really like it's kind of just an I, and I think like it really like relates to that. Like I feel like it really feels deep down in its soul like I'm just an I. Like I think that's like a big thing for it. So it's like, oh yeah, I'm asexual, I'm aromantic, because I'm just an I. I'm just the eye of Cthulhu. I'm not the heart. I'm not the soul. I think that's like its thing. So oh, next is the oh god, like I man. Um. Oh, of course, I was wrong. It's the face monster. Um. I really like the face monster. I think it's a great design. I think it's underrated. I think it's really scary, but like in a great way. I think that the face monster is a lesbian. I feel like if you like see like a group of lesbians, there's always one that looks like the face monster. So like I feel like I don't need to say much more than that. Um, Next is a regular hornet. And when we were talking about hornets before, I said that the dragon hornet was omnisexual, and part of that was because of its body. But you might actually notice that this hornet has a different body. It looks similar, but its like bottom part is much bigger. It looks more connected, it looks more defined. Um, so I actually don't think it's omnisexual anymore because of that reason. It's also it's not a dragon, it's just a regular hornet. And a lot of people might not know this, but I have a history with hornets that I don't want to get into. Um, let's just say I don't feel represented by hornets. I would never put them in lesbian. But I don't know if I could say that they're gay men. I don't know if I could say that they're multisexual. Hornets, I honestly feel like it's loaded to say that they're anything. I feel like everybody would get mad. If I said that hornets were asexual, I would get 5 million hate comments from people saying, like, why would you say that? I'm asexual and I don't like hornets. So, well, I also definitely don't think they're straight. I don't know. Like, I mean, look at this hornet. Do you think this hornet is heterosexual? That's what I thought. I can guarantee none of you just said yes. Um, I guess I am going to put it in asexual. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I know that nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that the hornet is them, but I don't know. Like it has to go somewhere, and I'm really sorry. I'm very genuinely, truly, deeply sorry, but it has to happen. It has to be somewhere. Next is the regular zombie that looks like a girl. I'm just going to put it here. We've already talked about the zombie that looks like a girl. Next is the firefly. Um, Fireflies are beautiful. I think they look beautiful in the game. They're a great addition to the game, and I love them. And I do think that they're straight. I think that all fireflies are straight in real life as well. I don't know. I just like I look at them like in the night sky and like at the field that I see sometimes, and I'm like that butterfly is straight. I mean firefly. So next is a fire imp. And something interesting about the fire imp is that it looks like it might have a chain little collar here. So I think it actually does shop at a place that I have been to called Hot Topic. If you don't know what Hot Topic is, it is a store that sells things and sometimes it sells spiked collars, I think. I went there with my roommate a few times because my roommate exclusively shopped for clothes at Hot Topic during high school, and I think that's actually not good at all. But I think the Fire Imp is the same, but the Fire Imp isn't in high school, so it kind of has no excuse. Unfortunately, I do think that the Fire Imp is bisexual. Specifically, I know this is multisexual, but I do think that the Fire Imp is bisexual. I just think that's a truth of life. It's like the Fire Imp is bisexual. Like that's just like what goes up comes down. Like like things are just true sometimes. Let's take a break. I need a little quick break to take a deep breath, and I'm going to take a sip of some lemonade that I have. So let's all take a deep break, and we'll think about. Let's all take like 10 seconds to think about something beautiful in our day today. I thought about something beautiful in my day today, and I hope that you did too. I hope there is something beautiful in your day. Moving on, let's do the flying fish. I feel like the moment I saw the flying fish in Terraria as a child was the moment that I fell in love with Terraria. I love the flying fish. It's very meaningful to me. So I actually, but where would I put the flying fish? What sexuality? I feel like this is easy, and I feel like I should know it immediately. Oh my god, I'm right. It's obviously a lesbian. A fish that flies. We already talked about the wings here. The flying fish is as lesbian as it gets. Look at this like sleek two-toned body, like the dark blue at the top, the white on the bottom. That's so like a lesbian. It's perfect. Next is the frog. And seeing the frog sprite this big, it kind of made me realize, why are there no snakes in Terraria? I don't think there's a single snake in any way, except for that one item where you make a snake come out of a pot to climb. Everything else is just like where are the snakes? But anyway, we're not talking about snakes, we're talking about the frog. I think the frog is beautiful. It's a beautiful addition to the jungle environment. I love it. But what's sexuality? It's kind of just a regular frog. I don't know. I feel like all frogs in real life are kind of asexual, and I feel like this one is too. It's like, I don't know. Look at those, like, look at the red eye. You know? Next is the frozen zombie. Um, hmm. Well, I did put this frozen zombie in here, but that's because of how brutal it is with that arm. I think that the regular frozen zombie is kind of giving me the omnisexual vibes. I know that's kind of obvious with like the blue coloration, but the blue coloration really does come in true this time. It's kind of like a stunning zombie. It's kind of like the most stunning zombie. Um, I love like the blood on its hands instead of looking kind of tacky like the other zombies. It's this beautiful like it's almost like nail polish for like all of its fingers, like finger polish on its beautiful like blue body. And I think that's gorgeous. I think that's a gorgeous idea. Next is this like fungus thing. I don't know exactly what it's called. It's called a fungi bulb. I love the fungi bulb. I think it is gorgeous. And I have encountered it a few times in game. I'm hyped to get its banner one day. Another omnisexual one. It's just who could say this isn't omnisexual? You know, the blue, it's literally fungus and it's literally a bulb. Like, it's perfect. Next is a ghost. I'm afraid of ghosts in real life. Ghosts scare me. I I'm afraid that they're going to do something evil to me. Um, so I think I'm going to put it in gay man. I know this is bad to say, but I'm afraid that a gay man's going to do something bad to me all the time. And I feel like gay men haunt my life in the same way that a ghost does. I feel like gay men, I don't know. It's like I don't think about ghosts ever, but if I think about them too much, I'm scared of them. And I feel like it's the same thing for gay men. Like if I think about gay men too much, I'm scared of them. And it's also the same thing with ghosts and gay men because I don't hate ghosts. I love ghosts. And I don't hate gay men like I love gay men, but it's just like any time that I've had an encounter with them, it's always left me worse off. So, um, this is like an antlion charger juvenile. If you've seen my Subnautica video, you know I hate juveniles in this. I don't want to, like, I don't care. So, I don't even know what to do. I guess I'm going to put them at the bottom of the list because I don't want to deal with these juvenile antlions. If you've ever dealt with a juvenile antlion, I'm sure that you understand exactly what I mean. Okay. Next is some gastropods. Two gastropods. I'm so hyped. Just kidding. Yep, just kidding. These are two giant shellies. Yeah, you thought that I was getting it wrong, but I wasn't. I know these are two giant shellies. This one, I think that these are in different categories. This one, ooh, I think it really is like gay man and lesbian, actually. Actually, wait, no. I think this one's a gay man. I think this one's a lesbian, and I think that they are actually twin siblings. I think they're identical twins. I think that they both dye their bodies to be different colors. I think their normal color is green. I think they dye their bodies to be a lesbian gay man duo. And I think they do magic tricks. And I think that's beautiful. I love giant jellies. Next is a giant worm. I love the giant worm. I have a big history with it. Um, but I'll say that the giant worm is straight. I don't know. Like it's kind of got a heart on it. I don't know. Like, do you think the giant worm is straight? If you're straight, comment if you think the giant worm is like you. Yeah. Next is the actual gastropod. I wish this was still in the game. I'm a gastropod lover. I know it's not like, I don't think it's actually called like gastropod. Let me see what it's actually called. Um, oh, spectral gastropod. Then what the F is this? Okay, well, I thought I recognized this as a gastropod, but I don't think it is one. I actually have no idea what this is. Maybe this is like a critter? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. It's kind of mysterious to me, and it's blue, so of course I'm putting it in omnisexual. Next is gnome. I hate gnomes. They're straight. Um, Now for the Goblin Army. I'm honestly so ambivalent to the Goblin Army, unfortunately, but I'll do my best. The Goblin Archer. Well, we were talking about Riverdale earlier. There's another lesbian in Riverdale named Cheryl who loves to use a bow and arrow. She is an evil lesbian, unfortunately, but I do think that this goblin is trying to be like her. Um, then what even is this one? Just a regular goblin or something? That is so basic. I'm gonna put it in Gay Man. I feel like Gay Man would love this. Actually, I know that Gay Man loved this. I know that Gay Man would love this. And there was literally a metallic clang. That was like a gong from heaven that was like, yes, you're right, yes, you're right. I know for a fact that Gay Man loved this. Ugh. But the Goblin Scout, I love the Goblin Scout. The Goblin Scout is totally a lesbian. I feel like if you're away from your family and you're traveling, well, I watched this episode of My Little Pony in which Applejack went um by train to like do a bunch of competitions to save her hometown's like little town hall because the infrastructure in her hometown is just so terrible. And I think that the Goblin Scout is just like that. So yep, next is the Goblin Sorcerer. This has always been my favorite because I've always gravitated towards sorcery, and I think just like the Dark Mage, the Goblin Sorcerer is multisexual. If you're multisexual, I think you would get it. Like, if you're multisexual, I know that you get it, and I know that you relate to the Goblin Sorcerer more than any of the other goblins. Next is the Goblin Thief. I actually love thieves. This is like a thing with me. I love thieves. That doesn't mean that the thief has to have my sexuality. I think that the thief actually is asexual. I don't know, something about that knife. It's like I feel like asexual people are always carrying around knives. And then the Goblin Warrior, ugh, gay man, same reason as the last one. I don't even want to talk about it. I'm I'm over it. Okay. Wow, look at all these salamanders. We'll get to it though. We'll get to it. Right now we have all the golden critters and the gold slime. This one's going to be hard to say, because I I really need to like meditate on this for a second. Hmm. So the golden critters are rare and beautiful. So you might think that I would put them in omnisexual because I think that omnisexuality is rare and beautiful. But no. Because omnisexuality is rare in a way where you never see it. Gold critters are rare in a way where like you do see them. Um, but like they're just like really rare. Um, so I don't think that's fitting. I but what sexuality would I say is rare and beautiful in this way? Actually, I think I'm gonna put them all in lesbian. I think it's easier to just put them all in the same one. I feel like it's fitting for them all to be lesbian. I feel like this just makes sense. Um, I don't know. If you get it, then I guess you get it. Like me, it's fine if you disagree with me because I kind of just have to put them somewhere. So I'm choosing this, but it makes sense to me. You know, I don't even know what this one is. Gold seahorse. I don't know. Um, I really want a gold water strider. I really do want one. It's one of my goals in life to get one. There is still the golden slime and the gold fish. I am going to put the golden slime in here with the other ones. I just think that makes sense. But then there's, of course, the goldfish. Where is the goldfish? What sexuality is the goldfish from Terraria? You might think, oh, well, it's gold. It swims through the sea, just like a lesbian. No, I do think it's a gay man. I don't know. I think it makes sense. Look at the way it's like lying flat on the ground. I feel like gay men are always lying flat on the ground. Like they always want to be flat on the ground. Um, Next is the like what is it even called? Like elemental something. Oh my god, I'm like fake for not knowing. I feel bad. Okay. Oh my god, I'm so fake. Why did I think it was elemental something? They're obviously the granite elemental and granite goblin. I mean granite Gollum. Oh my god, I'm so fake. I'm sorry to all Terraria fans. I'm sorry for being so unknowing about the game. Obviously, I know that they're the Granite Elemental and Granite Golem, but there are lots of enemies and I don't always remember, unfortunately. Um, this one's hard. I'm like obviously I'm initially inclined to say omnisexual for obvious reasons, but I'm also inclined to say straight. I don't know. I feel like the Granite Elemental kind of has a lot going on. It closes up to be immune to damage, and like that's reminding me of a gay man, but it's also like it has like this magic that reminds me of a lesbian. So maybe I should just buck the system and go against all of it and just put it in asexual. I don't know. Maybe I should. I feel like it fits. It makes sense in some way. It makes sense in some sort of twisted way. The granite golem, however, is straight. I don't even need to explain it. Blue for boy, really. I don't need to explain it. Sorry, this is getting difficult to see. If you need to zoom in, that's fine. I'm sorry, but there's lots of creatures in this game. Next is the grasshopper. The grasshopper is honestly like it's so easy to miss in this game. Like it feels like it's not even there. It feels like they didn't even make it exist, unfortunately. Um, but I guess I'm inclined to say it's multisexual. I mean, it's literally a grasshopper. It loves grass, like multisexual green grass. So, yeah. Next, I don't even know what this is called. Some sort of G bird, I guess. Probably. Probably starts with a G. But I love it. But I love it. I love its design. I think its sprite work is beautiful. It is so unlike a duck. Ducks are like heteronormative. This is like not heteronormative. Um, so yeah, I don't know if you've seen A Christmas Prince 2, but I actually watched a movie called A Christmas Prince 2, and there was a character in that movie named Zahil, and this bird is kind of reminding me of Zahil compared to this duck because the protagonist is like this duck and Zahil is like this bird where he wanted to make her a beautiful gown with a huge cone, like transparent cone around her face for her wedding, and she was like, "No, I hate that." And that was really evil to me because I loved his fashion and his work. And he is canonically actually a gay man, so I'm putting it in gay man. Next is a green dragonfly. We have talked about this. We do not need to talk about it again. Don't bring up the dragonflies to me. Next is a green demon eye. Green demon eyes are trying so hard to not be like the other demon eyes. I've already talked about how the demon eyes are like really basic and they don't think they're basic. This one's just in the same boat. It's trying so hard not to be basic, but it is. Just like all the other ones. It's not wearing a stupid costume, but it did paint itself a stupid color. So I'm over it. I'm over the green demon eye. I'm over all the demon eyes, honestly. Except for the blind one up there. Next is another fairy, the green fairy. I'm kind of shocked that we're really like zooming through these right now because they're kind of repeats. But the green fairy, same as the other fairy. I don't have much more to say. Next though is the green slime. The green slime might break the lesbian slime pattern. A lot of the slimes have been lesbian, but I don't think the green slime is. I think that the green slime you might think multisexual because green grass and it does love to go on the grass, but no. I think the green slime is asexual. I really do think so. I think it's green because it loves to be different. I think it identifies as purely asexual, and I think it's proud of that. I think it goes to like gay pride parades, and it's like, I love to be me. I love to be asexual, and all the other slimes. Well, maybe not all of them, but some of the other slimes are like really like just asexual. Well, I'm better than you because I'm like the other sexualities. And then the green slime is like, well, I'm asexual and I love it. I feel like online people like make posts that are like, you'll never be kicked out of somewhere for being asexual. You're not really oppressed. And the green slime will be the first one to say that's not true. That's not a good way to measure like oppression. You don't have to be like oppressed in the same way as other sexualities and stuff to be oppressed in some way. Like there's different levels and there's different like ways that like homophobia and queerphobia manifest in different identities. I think that's exactly what the green slime would say. Ooh, next is like a grubby. Everybody loves grubby, including me. I love grubbies. Um, but what sexuality are all grubbies? I feel like I have to say asexual again because I feel like grubbies asexually reproduce. I know, like I said, like obviously that's not what this asexual means, but like there's like asexual's already here, and I think it asexually reproduces, so I might as well just put it there. I think that the grubbies do asexually reproduce. So next is harpies, and I need to look up Terraria harpies because I didn't realize until very recently exactly what they looked like. Oh, lots of fan art, but oh, this is well, they have legs here, but look, they have big like breasts in a shirt. They're wearing like a shirt and they have big breasts. It's very strange to me. I had no idea. I had no idea this whole time that that's what a harpy was. And it honestly scares me. It honestly scares me that they would choose for a harpy to look like that. And it doesn't. I don't know. I don't know. I I don't want to put it in straight. I feel like that's demeaning to the harpy. Just because I think that it's like kind of as a crazy design, that doesn't mean that it's crazy. I'll put it in gay man. I don't know. Like I don't know. I feel like the only way that like like a harpy would choose to look like this is if it was a gay man. Like I feel like that just makes sense. Next is the skeleton. You already know where the skeleton is going to go. Not only is it green like grass, but it has a big sword in its head. Like it has a big sword on its head, which I think is like wonderful. It's doing a balancing act. And bisexuals, they always have to balance. They're always like, I'm not gay, I'm not straight, I'm in the middle, I'm bisexual, I'm bisexual. They always have to balance that. So I think that this is specifically bisexual. Yeah. Ooh, next is like a fire bat or like a flame bat or like a hell bat. Yeah, like a hell bat, I think it is. I love it. I love the bats. I've already talked about how much I love the bats. I think all bats are, in fact, omnisexual. So we're putting it in there. Oh, this is like a flaming butterfly. That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. This reminds me of the character Lila from Miraculous Ladybug. Um, I'm going to put it in lesbian for no real reason. I just feel it. I feel it from like that dark body with like the beautiful orange wings. Next is another hornet. I don't want to talk about these hornets again. I'm really sorry that I have to do this. I got shivers. I'm really sorry. Actually, there are different types of hornets. I'm going to put all the different hornets in a different sexuality. So I'll put that hornet there, I'll put that hornet there, and I'll put that hornet there. I'll put it in lesbian so it doesn't feel like I'm targeting gay men. I don't think there are any more hornets. I'm not seeing any more hornets. Oh, here's one. And if we encounter any more, then I'll put all hornets somewhere. Um, so yeah. That way everybody gets a hornet. All sexualities have a hornet attached to them, except for omnisexual for now. Next is a hoplite. I've already talked about how much I hate javelins. Ugh, this enemy's whole thing is that they throw javelins, and I'm not putting it in multisexual, even though it's a skeleton, because hoplites, I don't know. They're like not. They're gay men. I don't even have to talk about it. They're gay men. I mean, think about all the javelin throwers that have existed throughout human history. What sexuality are they? Yeah. Next is the ice bat. And the ice bat, I know that I just said I think all bats are omnisexual, and this is literally omnisexual colors. I'm tempted to say it's a lesbian, but I think that's just because I love ice. I am putting in an omnisexual. I feel like I was just being deluded when I thought it was maybe a lesbian because the colors really do line up. It has to be omnisexual, and the ice slime is a lesbian. I mean, slimes are lesbian. Ice, like I love ice, so I feel like I have to say it's a lesbian. Next is another type of beautiful orange butterfly. I'm just going to say the same thing. You know, I feel like it's not that hard to compare them because they're both beautiful in the same way. Now for a jungle bat, right here along with the rest of them. And now for the jungle slime. Ooh, this one's really hard because, we already talked about the green slime and how it's asexual for very specific reasons, but I don't think that the jungle slime is lesbian. I don't like feel that connection. I don't think it's a gay man. Do I think it's multisexual? I feel like a lot of the jungle enemies are ending up being multisexual. Hmm. That's actually not true at all. I think one of them is, but I don't know. I'm gonna say straight. I don't know. I think this jungle slime is straight. I feel like I've seen straight people that look like this jungle slime. It's like this jungle slime is the type of person who you might think that they're like a lesbian because they're kind of masked, but they're not. They're a jungle slime. They're straight. Next is a jungle turtle. These kind of shock me because I have never played hard mode of Terraria, but I know there's an infamous enemy called a tortoise that is in the jungle. So these kind of shock me because it's like I know who your relatives are. I know who you grow into. And that kind of scares me. That kind of reminds me of when you see like a heterosexual, I mean not a heterosexual child, but like a child in like a heteronormative sphere. Um, like a very particular type of family that they exist in, and it's like you don't hate the child because they're just a child in this space, but you also know that it's more likelier than not that they will grow into being like the rest of their family. That's how I feel about the jungle turtle. It's like I don't hate it. There's nothing in me that hates it, but I'm just like I'm wary and I know like what will probably happen and it makes me a little bit sad, but there's not much that I can do as an external force. Next is the king slime. Ugh. I mean, the king slime just brings back bad memories of playing Terraria as a child. As a child, I was crazy, as many children were, and I feel like the king slime, I was fighting it during crazy times in my life. That's all I have to say. I'm going to say multisexual. I know it's like king slime, like really like this could be like the king of the lesbian slime, but like no. I think it's multisexual. I think it's like a lost king. Yeah, unfortunately. Next is, I believe this is like the violet beetle. No, it's not violet because I don't know, but it's like a magenta beetle or something. Which is exciting. I love the Beatles. Not the music group. I literally do not care about them. But hmm, I'll say gay man. I don't know. That sort of violet body. I feel like gay men love violet. Um, Next is the ladybug. Gay man because of Miraculous Ladybug. In a Miraculous Ladybug, the character Ladybug is a gay man. Next is a flaming firefly. Ooh, it's got that black and orange thing that I love for like the lesbian bugs. I love it. I love this black and orange. I think it's beautiful. And of course, I'm going to have to put this like lava slime in here. I mean, it's literally lava. I love lava. So I don't know what this enemy is. It's kind of impossible for me to tell, so I'll have to look. Um, this is a leech. I think it like is in the Wall of Flesh boss fight. I think. I would be embarrassing if I was wrong about that. Well, that's cool. I support it. I really do support this leech. I think it's a gay man, and I support this leech being a gay man. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I feel like it just makes sense. Something about its ruby skin, the fact that it's like a minion to the Wall of Flesh. I don't know. Maybe this is controversial. Maybe this is a stereotype, but I feel like gay men are all just minions to the Wall of Flesh. Next is Lepus. I don't need to say anything about Lepus. Nobody says anything about Lepus because we all have the same secret thoughts about Lepus. And one of my secret thoughts that I'm sure that you share is that Lepus is asexual. I don't know what this thing is, but I know it must be related to Lepus, and that's all I have to say. Next is another type of beautiful, enchanting firefly, but this one's got some omnisexual colors. Yup. Next is a maggot. I love maggots. They make the world go literally around. Multisexual because I feel like if multisexuals were turned into animals, I feel like they might be turned into maggots. They might like crawl through dead things and be maggots, some of them. And then the maggot zombie, lesbian, and I don't even have to explain why. Then this, um, I I'm like embarrassed. I don't know what this is. It looks like a giant shelly, but it's not. Is this a gastropod? But where are gastropods on the enemy list? I don't know. Look, I don't know. And I saw that there was a few more of them up ahead, and I'm embarrassed to say that I truly don't know. All I know is that it has this beautiful black and orange color scheme, and I know exactly where that goes. Next is a snatcher. God, the snatchers. They bother me. Unlike the like dragon snatchers or whatever. Maybe this is a man eater. I don't know. It's all the same to me. This must be a man eater. Ugh. It's whatever. I'm putting it straight. I don't even care. I don't care about the man eater. Whatever. Whatever. But next is a meteor head. Meteor heads are so underrated. First of all, it's super easy to get banners of them, which I love. Second of all, they are beautiful. I love how plentiful they are. They're very community oriented, which is I think wonderful. I think that more things need to be community oriented in this world, like more people. Um I think that they are I think they're asexual. I think they're asexual because I don't think that they really think very much. I think they're like an antlion charger where they don't really have much cognition. I think they just are, and I think that's wonderful. Next is a skeleton with its head turned around. And I'm definitely putting this in here because I know for a fact that there are some people that are multisexual that are always just like turn around. Like polysexual people, I feel like the skeleton's polysexual. Some polysexual people, like they're always turned around, they're always confused, but never about their sexuality. And I think that's wonderful. Um, Next is what I can only assume is a monarch butterfly. And I'm putting this also in multisexual because there's actually a character named Monarch in Miraculous Ladybug and he's bisexual. So I don't know what this slime is. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking at a list of slimes. It's Oh, is it a mother slime? It is a mother slime. I forgot about mother slimes. Yes. I support mothers, so what category should this mother go in? Um, I'll say asexual because I think there needs to be more asexual mother representation in the world. Some mothers are asexual. Yeah, and I was talking about that earlier, how asexual people are always around babies, and look what's right here on mother slime. So mother slimes are always around babies. Next is a mouse. I don't know. I have very mixed feelings about mice in real life, but I think this mouse is simply divine and adorable. I love it. But I don't know what sexuality it is. It has a very particular color. When I'm sliding it in with the omnisexual ones, something just feels right. Like it's like yes. Like look at it here with like the multisexual ones. It's just like mm, but like yes, like it like matches with the other omnisexual ones. Like if there's a convention of omnisexual people, I think this mouse would show up and it would be like, yeah, I'm omnisexual. Yeah, like yes. Next is a Mushi Ladybug. I love its name. I love all the meanings of its name. It's wonderful. It reminds me of Miraculous Ladybug, which I love. But I don't know what sexuality it is. Hmm. It's definitely not a gay man. I'm inclined to say Ladybug. I mean, lesbian, but no. Asexual? No. I feel like that's a stereotype. I'm gonna put it in multisexual, but I'm just going to say I'm not sure. Like I'm not sure. Next is like a fungus zombie or whatever, and I love this one. Like this mushroom zombie is so beautiful and awesome. I love all of the glowing mushroom enemies. They really speak to me. Um, but what sexuality? Mm, I'm gonna say lesbian. It just makes sense. I mean, we've got some more zombies up here. We've got the maggot zombie. It makes sense. I feel like they would like really hang out with the crawdad. I This looks like a portal. This looks like the Etherian portal. So, um, I mean, if this is an enemy, if this is alive, I certainly am shocked by that and don't really understand it. I'm gonna put it in omnisexual for now, but maybe if I learned more about it, that would change. Next is the nymph or whatever. This is a unique enemy because this enemy is, I mean, like, is a species, but like pretends to be like a person. So like these, I feel like all nymphs truly are people on their own because they have like within the game they all make the choice to be like a lost girl, and I think that's scary. Um, you could say gay men are always pretending to be lost girls, and I do think that's true, but I'm not gonna say that this one is like that. Um, Multisexual. It's like Yeah, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that the nymph is multisexual. I think it's a multisexual creature. It's always dropping metal detectors. Isn't that weird? A nymph of all things would be dropping metal detectors. Well, there just might be a reason for that. I have literally no idea what this is, but it's so weird that I need to know. So I'm looking into it. Everybody, I'm looking into it. Don't worry. Apparently, this is an old one skeleton. I'm kind of shocked to learn that this thing is old. I'm kind of shocked and scared to learn that this thing is old. Um, I think I'm going to put it in straight. And that's not like I don't mean that as a diss. I mean that as like a good thing. Like it's a good thing that this is straight. I support it. But I don't know. I'm a little bit scared of that fact still. I'm afraid that it's old. I'm not afraid of old people. I'm not afraid of old things, but I'm afraid that this in particular is an old skeleton because it looks elderly, but it's a skeleton. I just another question about the skeletons of this world. And another dragonfly. We all know where they go. We all know my history with them. Now, what is this? An orca. Orcas are weird because they're not in the game, but they will be. They're coming back to the game, which is kind of like, whoa, that they would like bring back of all things orcas. Like the evil witches added orcas, and then reality came back, and reality is bringing orcas into the modern day again. That's kind of like shocking to me. Shocking to me in a similar way to like I think that orcas are gay men. Orcas are like big whales in the ocean. They're literally called killer whales, and they're violent and they eat things, and they're characterized as being violent and eating things, but in reality they're just nature and they're human and they're beautiful. That is kind of just like gay men. However, some gay men are violent and eat things in an evil way, and I think that's also the case for orcas. I don't think orcas as a whole should be seen as violent and evil, but I think some of them are, just like gay men. Next is an owl. Ugh, this is another one where I'm sorry for your sexuality if I have to put it in with you. I'm not a fan of owls in this game. I don't like that sometimes they can have a human hoot. It's just weird. I'm gonna put it in asexual because I would be uncomfortable putting it anywhere else. And I know I'm sorry because I did the same thing with Hornet, but it does it's not that's like a coincidence. It's not like I'm not just dumping everything in asexual. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I am going to put this skeleton in multisexual though. It's pretty obvious as to why. This penguin. Have you seen Happy Feet 2? Then I don't need to explain this. Okay, this zombie with arrows stuck in it. I will just say this zombie has really been like a part of my life. I thought for a long time that these arrows were actually big claws, but they're not. They are not big claws, which is fine. But I was kind of disappointed when I learned that they were just arrows. I think it looks worse with them being arrows. Well, what's sexuality? Um, I'll say gay man. I don't know. I feel like gay men always have big arrows in them. Another fairy. We know exactly where this fairy goes. Now for the pink jellyfish. Oh my god, so many. I literally don't even need to explain myself. Obviously, the pink jellyfish is a lesbian. Like I won't even. If you don't get it, then you're crazy. Next is Pinky. Pinky is a person to me. I think every single. I don't think Pinky is a species. I think that Pinky is one person that can revive. I think that one person is a gay man, an evil gay man. That's all I can say because everything else I would have to say about Pinky, I couldn't say in a video that is open to the world. But next is a piranha. I do like piranhas. I feel like everybody's going to say piranhas are lesbians, piranhas are lesbians. I completely disagree. And I think that the idea that piranhas are lesbians, it's like if you're a lesbian and you truly think that piranhas are a lesbian, it's like that's okay. But if you're not a lesbian and you think that piranhas are a lesbian, I think that you need to like, I think you really need to unpack some lesbophobia because there's no way that you should be thinking that boldly enough to truly assume it in this video. Because I think that piranhas are probably multisexual. I feel like I mean piranhas and skeletons go hand in hand. They both drop hooks, and they both drop hooks for a reason because they're multisexual. Next is the pupfish. Oh, the pupfish. I think that's what it's called. I love it. It's omnisexual. I love it. It's got the blue. It's a beautiful fish. It's mysterious. Nobody understands why it's in the game, but I understand why it's in the game. Usually, things are omnisexual because I don't understand them. I understand this one. I understand the pupfish perfectly. Yeah. Next is this beautiful purple butterfly. I'm putting it in lesbian because it is a beautiful purple butterfly. That's all I have to say. Next is the purple demon eye. And this is where things get complicated with the demon eyes because, I've always been saying the demon eyes are trying to look different. They're trying to look stupid. Like, I hate them. And the green one looks stupid because they try to dye itself like a crazy color. But it's like, what about the purple demon eye? Do I still feel that way? It didn't just dye its body, it also dyed like its eye. Like it's wearing a red contact. Do I like it? Do I think that it's no longer basic? Yeah, I don't think it's basic anymore. I do think it's still multisexual, but I think it owns being multisexual. I think it knows exactly what to do. I don't think it's basic anymore. I love it. I love the purple demon eyes, the best one. I wish they were all purple demon eyes. And then as for the purple slime is the opposite. The purple slime is basic. The purple slime is still a lesbian, but is like basic about it. Like the purple slime, like I don't know. I don't want to explain it. I don't need to be bringing some negativity to the lesbian category, but I will just say I think that the purple slime is basic. Now for Queen Bee. Queen Bee is also a miraculous ladybug character. However, I am not going to think about that this time. I think that Queen Bee is an interesting case. Queen Bee is known for being very fickle. Anything could set it off. Queen Bee is also known for being a woman. Everybody's like, I love Queen Bee. She's so womanly. And I kind of disagree with that, but that's okay. Um, do I think Queen Bee is a man? I mean, a gay man, it's like kind of like there's a big part of me saying yes, Queen Bee is a gay man, but if I declare that, I feel like I will be perpetuating something evil. So I can't. I feel like if gay men had the Queen Bee on their side, they would be unstoppable. So I think I'm going to go with asexual. I think those bees are like a sign of like um, the queen bee being asexual because the queen bee has a bunch of bees in her arsenal, and you could even say that those bees are her babies, and we all know how asexual people are about babies. So next is the raincoat zombie. The raincoat zombie is trying to be what the frozen zombie is, and is failing. Just like gay men are trying to be omnisexual and failing, honestly. Next is the rat. Just like the last one, the rat is trying to be a mouse but failing. It's like get like a different color scheme and also like um I don't like your little white nose. It's weird. Maybe it's supposed to be teeth. That's even weirder. Um but I do think it's still omnisexual. I just think it sucks. I think it like sucks and I also think it's omnisexual. Next is the raven. I love ravens, but they're kind of stuck up. I think they're straight. I don't know, the red eye. I don't know. I think they're straight. I think they're straight and they like flap their wings. I think each one of their feathers are like black because I think that ravens used to be rainbow for like rainbow pride, but I think that they actually turned this dark color, this dark monochrome color because they're straight now. I think they turned straight as a species. We're getting pretty close. There's not a ton left, so um, but next is this gorgeous butterfly with like a magical color scheme. It's like magical, but it's also evil. Look at those evil red eyes. And this one I will give to Gay Mem. You have this butterfly on your team, okay? So yeah, you can wreak havoc. You can end the world. Whatever. Not like you couldn't do that anyway. Gay Men, at the beginning of this video, I said that I wanted to be kind and positive, and I haven't really been delivering on that. But you know what? Um, I swear in real life that I'm not negative all the time. One time in third grade or maybe fifth grade, my teacher sent a report home saying that I was too morbid. And my grandma was like, "You're too morbid. You're too morbid." And for years, she would hold that over my head. She would be like, in third grade or maybe fifth grade, your teacher said you were too morbid. And I'm seeing that as the truth right now because you're acting morbid and negative. And that really stuck with me. And I'm sorry if you think I'm being too negative about gay men or about multisexual people or about anything. But this is just, I don't know. I promise I only want peace and hope for the world. But I don't want peace and hope for this red dragonfly, unfortunately. I like dragonflies, but bad memories. But for the red slime, ooh, this is like interesting because I like the red slime. I like its appearance, but I don't like its role in the game. I don't like that there are three slimes on the ground. I feel like the black slime does enough. I don't need there to be red slime and yellow slime. It's just it feels like it's too much. I feel like the other two are copying the black slime. Um, I do feel like it's multisexual. I feel like it's multisexual, and I feel like it really faces struggles from that. I feel like the red slime is like really like struggling with the fact that it's multisexual and doesn't feel like it gets enough representation. Next for the squirrel. I don't know why the squirrel is here. Actually, I don't know why these are here. I feel like this is our ruby, so why is it doesn't matter. Um oh, this is a red squirrel. Sorry. I couldn't even tell because it doesn't even look red. Red squirrels are so fake. I don't even like they're so fake in general in real life too because they're not even red. Let's look up a red squirrel. Terraria. I want a normal red squirrel. Like that's orange at best. Like they're barely red squirrels. So that's honestly so fake. And I do think they're lesbians. I think they're a fake lesbian. Not like a fake lesbian as in they're not a lesbian. I think they're a lesbian and they're fake. All red squirrels from Terraria. And in real life. I think all red squirrels in real life are fake and are lesbians. I mean that. Next, of course, is the ruby rabbit. I do think that it's another gay man rabbit. I just think it's the truth. I just think it makes sense. If you don't think it makes sense, that's fine. But don't fight with me about it. I'm just sharing my opinion. But then, of course, there's the ruby squirrel. Um, I don't know. Ruby is like red is like blood, which is like gay man. But I don't know. Ruby is also like Pokemon Ruby. There's a Pokemon game called Pokemon Ruby. And that's not like gay man. Hmm. I'm gonna put them in straight. I think they're straight and I support them for it. But now we've come across one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine salamanders. We now have nine salamanders to sort. And this is going to get crazy because I don't think that they're all in the same category. Green one, green like grass. I'm just going to go quick through this. First of all, I love salamanders. They're awesome. Green like grass, stormy like the stormy lesbian weather, of course. Um, let's zoom out a little bit. Oh wow, that's kind of zoomed out a lot. Okay, that's fine. Then we've got like this orange one. I think this orange one is multisexual as well. This pink one is definitely asexual. Pink and blue, girl and boy, asexual. This purple one is probably also a lesbian. Yep. And then this one, this like monochrome one, is giving me omnisexual vibes for the same reason as the black slime. This one that's kind of ice themed, also omnisexual. This one that's kind of golden. You might think golden, that reminds me of lesbian from earlier. No, actually, I do think it's a gay man. It's sunny, not golden. Then this blue one, this dark blue, beautiful one, I think this one is also asexual. I feel like I hope that makes sense. It made sense to me. I hope it makes sense to you. Like it's kind of just logic. If it doesn't make sense to you, then I don't really know what's wrong with you. Next is the sand slime. The sand slime is really cool and unique. Just like the ice slime, it has like a unique texture to it, which I think is cool. I like the idea that it is physically made of sand. I like the idea that it is rough and coarse. I think, I don't think it's a lesbian, or maybe I should think it's a lesbian, but I don't. Maybe it's straight. I don't know. I feel like that makes sense. The sand slime is straight. I feel like that makes sense. Next is the sapphire gem rabbit, omnisexual. Both of them are omnisexual. And yes, it's because of the blue. But it's not just the blue. It's like this beautiful like white finishing. Like the white and like the squirrel, like where that yellow is for the emerald one. I don't know. It just makes sense to me. Oh my god, now is another scorpion, the regular scorpion. The other one was the black scorpion. This one I didn't have the same reaction to it when I saw the black scorpion. I mean, I really like it, but I didn't have the same reaction to it. But I do still think it's a lesbian. For the black scorpion, I think I put it in lesbian. Yeah, I did. That would have been embarrassing if I was wrong, but I put it in lesbian because I had that memory with it, and that really stuck with me as like a lesbian memory. And I don't have that memory for the scorpion, but I do just think that scorpions are lesbian in general. I mean, look at that stinger. It's not going to use it, but it could. Then we have the seagull. Here we have the seagull. God, the seagull is interesting because when you see it, you know you're at the end of the world. But when you see it, you also get annoyed. Everybody doesn't like seagulls. Um, Man, that's not going to have any bearing on his sexuality, but I do think it's a gay man. I know seagulls are known to be annoying and screechy and loud and hang out in flocks, and gay men are also known for those things, but I promise that's not why. The seagull's actually a gay man because they love to be in the sun. They love to be at the sunny beach. So next is the seahorse. I've never seen this in a game. I don't think I've literally ever seen a seahorse in this game. It's very elusive and mysterious to me, much like an omnisexual person. Oh God. Another one of these. I don't know where they come from. What? A sea turtle. I feel the same way about the sea turtle as I do about the jungle turtle, and I'm putting it in straight for the same reason as the jungle turtle. Um, because it's like the tortoise in game, I think it's like really fast. Like the angry evil tortoise from hard mode, I think it's like fast in the water. So I don't know. I feel like these two combine into that tortoise, and I'm scared for their futures, but I know that I can't stop it. These demon eyes are completely different from the other ones. I don't even know what they're called. Oh, I think they're called like the Servants of Cthulhu. They like work with the Eye of Cthulhu, and the Eye of Cthulhu is kind of like weird and is like its whole personality is being the Eye of Cthulhu, and the demon eyes, like their whole thing is that they're basic. The Servant of Cthulhu isn't like any of that. The Servant of Cthulhu, first of all, is straight. Yes, first of all, it's straight, but it's also very independent and knows itself and knows the world. I'm Obviously this goes without saying, but it is transgender. Um, it is, I don't know. It really breaks the mold for all of the other eye enemies. It's so independent. Next is the shark, gay man. I'm sorry. I like sharks, and I guess I like gay men, but I don't know. They like go to bed. They go to bed. They go together in a bad way. But next is these skeletons wearing cool costumes. And you know what? I know for a fact that multisexual people love to wear cool costumes. As I've mentioned before, my crony is multisexual. And actually, my phone case on my iPhone, when I used to have an iPhone, was in fact actually a photo of him as a child dressed up like a clown. That was my phone case when I had an iPhone, and I no longer have an iPhone. I now have a cat flip phone. I'm going to open and close it. So that's my phone currently. and I love it. And when I didn't have that phone, I had a phone with a case of my crony dressing up. So this is perfect. Next is this hand. This hand isn't anything. This hand, I'm putting it at the bottom, just like those juveniles. This hand is not an enemy. Ugh, I can't believe it would be here. I'm very upset. But next is the Dungeon Guardian. F the Dungeon Guardian. I don't like the Dungeon Guardian for one moment. It is a lesbian, but first of all, oh, I guess it's not the Dungeon Guardian. What is it even called? Like the stupid dungeon boss. Is that its name? It might as well be its name. Ugh, I'm not a fan. Sorry. It's called Skeletron. Sorry. The reason why I didn't remember it was called Skeletron is because that name sucks, and it sucks as a boss, and I don't like it. So, yeah. This Demon Eye, unfortunately, is the same as the basic ones. I'm really sorry to say because it does look cooler, but it's basic still. Another water bubble zombie. We know where it's going. We all know where it's going. Um, I know what this is. Is this? But I don't like know what it's called or how to describe it. Is it like a slug? It might just be a slug. I don't know, but I love it. I love it, and I think that it's a gay man. I think that more gay men need to be soft and tender like this slug. I think this is like another bee. This might be like the queen bee's bee. I think it's also asexual. I think that she teaches them to be asexual like her. Then we have the snail. The snail is obviously a lot like the slug, but I don't think it's a gay man. I think it's actually the. I do think that it's the omnisexual variant of the slug. Like it's like the slug like lives its life normally as a gay man, but then it puts on a shell and boom, it's omnisexual. You know. Then is the snatcher. Ugh, snatchers and gay men are the same to me. So of course it has to go with the man. Wait, did I say snatchers and gay men? I meant the snatchers and man eaters are the same to me. So of course it has to go with the man eater. Same reason, same thing. They're literally the same creature in my mind. Next is the flanks. I have such mixed feelings about the flanks. I love the name. I love so many things about it, but I don't like that that's a nose. I wish it was an arm. I hate that that's a nose. Don't like that, unfortunately. But I do think that the Flinks is a lesbian. Thinking of the Flinks as a lesbian gives me relief for both lesbians and Flinkses. Next is the spiky ball. You might think I feel similar to Skeletron's hand, where it's like this isn't an enemy, but I do think this is an enemy. I do think this is a conscious creature. I think it's like trees, where trees can like communicate and kind of have feelings, but they're literally trees, so people can't even conceptualize that as true, even when they know that's true. I do think it's also a lesbian. I know, look at all those spikes. I feel like lesbians like are always wearing spikes. Like not on their clothes, like in their skin. I guess piercings is what I mean. Speaking of spikes, there's of course the spiky ice slime. You know exactly where that goes. The spiky jungle slime now. You know, I really dissed the jungle slime, and the spiky jungle slime is a very annoying enemy for me to face in the underground jungle. I don't think it's anything like that other jungle slime. I don't think it's like the jungle slime. I think it's asexual. I think it lives a very peaceful life. I think it lives a very peaceful life. It's like aggressive towards the player, but that's only because it wants to maintain its peaceful life as much as possible. And so it like it's conscious, it's sentient, and knows that you're going to try to kill it. So it might as well just do its best to save itself. I think that's all that's happening. Then there's the blue spiky slime. These only exist to be servants to the king slime. So like they're basically slime traders. Like they go right hand in hand with the king slime because it's like you're just a blue slime and you like you're a regular blue slime, you should be with the other blue slimes, but instead you're like with the king, like this stupid king who's like fake and like evil just so you can get a couple spikes. Like I don't like that at all. Here's another hornet. So now omnisexuality does have a hornet. There's one hornet and all sexuality is great. Next is the spore bat. Spore bat, of course, goes with the other bats. I don't have anything to say about it. It just makes sense, and I'm sure that you get it. Next is the spore skeleton. I actually don't think that these will be multisexual like the other skeletons. I think that this is omnisexual. Omnisexual is, of course, a branch of multisexual, so you could say that this fits with the rest of them, but I think it's unique. Then the spore zombie. I'll say the spore zombie is a gay man. I definitely think that the spore zombie is a gay man, and I think it's a gay man in a beautiful way. Then is the squid. The squid is interesting to me because I'm pretty sure it's an enemy, but like it sucks as an enemy. Like it's not really what an enemy should be. Which I don't blame it for. It's just kind of like a circumstantial thing. And I think it's a very interesting circumstantial thing. So of course I am going to say that it's probably asexual. I don't know. I don't know. Just like look at it. I feel like it just makes sense. And finally, we have come to the regular squirrel. The regular squirrel is a very basic Terraria critter. You see it all the time. Hmm. Oh my god. Heaven has called. I think it's true. The squirrel is a lesbian. I wasn't thinking it, but I heard that little bell toll, and now I do think it's true. We are now coming down to the end of the list. There are very few left, and a lot of them. See all these zombies, see all these windy balloons or whatever. A lot of these are like pretty similar. So we're really coming down to the very end here. The yellow butterfly. I just I don't know what to say. I feel like for the butterflies I've really just been like saying like, oh, like this is pretty colors or like this is like miraculous ladybug. I've never really thought about the butterflies and their sexualities, and I feel like I since this is the last butterfly, actually it's not. There's like two more. But since this is one of the last butterflies, I should really think about it. It's yellow and golden like the sun, which is like, oh, you would be like, okay, that's the gay man, but no. No, I know it's not a gay man, and I know it's definitely not a lesbian. Hmm. It's not straight. It's not asexual. It's either omnisexual or multisexual. I'm gonna say multisexual. I think multisexual is the most populated category currently. Lesbian might be a little bit more. Yeah, lesbian is more, but I think that's because of the golden critters. I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty confident in that. Next is the zombie, just a regular zombie. I think this is, but um, like we've said before, this is a mysterious skeletal zombie. I'm putting it right there with omnisexual. And then here's something terrible. The bride and the groom. I wish I could say that I loved them. I wish I could say that they're this awesome drag couple. I wish I could say that like they're like lesbian or gay man or something, but I know it. It pains me to say this. It really does, but I know for a fact that they're a heteronormative couple. That's my heart beating in fear as I say that because I know a lot of Terraria fans are queer and a lot of Terraria fans are going to get so mad at me for saying that the bride and the groom are straight. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know, but I believe it. I believe it. Next is the Wall of Flesh, the final boss of Terraria pre-hard mode. I did say that leeches are like gay men because all gay men follow the wall of flesh. And what do gay men follow if not other gay men? But I think they're wrong about it. I don't think it's gay. I think it's omnisexual. Yeah, I really do. I think that the wall of flesh is omnisexual. I think it could be called the wall of omni. I really do believe that. I think it's powerful in that way. Unlike Tim, I would like Tim if it wasn't named Tim. I think I talked about this in my Subnautica video too. I have like an annoyance with like enemies in games and stuff being called like human names, like specifically human, like typical like boy names, because it never happens with like girl names. If this like skeleton mage was called like I don't know, like Haley, I would be like, okay, like I love Haley, but no, it's Tim. Of course, it's Tim, and that makes me annoyed. Um, so you know what? I'm gonna say that Tim is a lesbian. I need this for me. To like Tim, I need Tim to be a lesbian. I hope you can understand, even if you disagree. Literally, what is this? Um, this is a tomb crawler from like the underground desert. Okay. Well, I love the tomb crawler. I think it's a gay man. Yep. I mean, yellow, golden like the sun. So I don't know. I could see gay men digging through tombs. I don't know. Makes sense to me. Speaking of gay men, of course, the topaz rabbit is next to is a gay man because sunshine rabbit. I really don't need to explain that. So is the squirrel. Same thing. Sunshine. Um, and then this zombie holding a torch. Like, I kind of don't give a F about this zombie holding a torch, but let me think about it. It's kind of wearing a hat. Oh, this is like the French zombie. A lot of Miraculous Ladybug characters are gay men, and Miraculous Ladybug is a French show, so that makes sense to me. Um, then there's like this checkerboard, kind of like zebra butterfly. I think it's cool. You might be like, oh, it's straight, it's monochrome, that's like straight flag, and you said that was like a thing for the Raven. No way, no way. I think that it is multisexual. I think that the black and white represents that like most multisexual people don't have black and white relationships with like girls and boys, but this one does. This one really does. And I think it's proud of that, and I think it should be. Next is oh god, that stupid turkey boss. I thought it wasn't on this list. When the evil witches took over, a turkey boss was added to the game or something. It's really evil. I don't I don't know what sexuality it is. I guess it's I guess it's a gay man. I mean, gay men are all over turkeys, so another turtle. Unfortunately, there is another turtle, and we all know how I feel about these turtles. I'm sorry to you three. I'm sorry. I wish for the best. This zombie with horns again, very mysterious to me. I'm going to say gay man because I want for that to be true right now. I'm feeling in the moment. I want for this particular zombie to be a gay man. It would bring me peace. And then I think we finally are. Oh no, I was going to say we're at the final butterfly, but there's another butterfly after this. This one's blue, omnisexual. Pretty easy to say that. This one is very interesting. This is an umbrella slime. It's blue, so you would be like blue like the ocean, blue like the water, just like lesbian. But like no, it's holding an umbrella. It wants to be away from the rain. This umbrella slime are blue slimes who pull out umbrellas when it's raining because they don't want to be wet because they don't like the rain. And that makes it a game anime. Not in a negative way. I just think it makes sense. Um, I just think it makes sense. Next is a little mining skeleton. These are very beautiful creatures. I am putting them in multisexual with the other skeletons. This makes sense to me. It's just another skeleton dressing up, and I think that's wonderful. I think everybody should dress up. I'm not talking about this. I am not talking about this enemy. I am not talking about why it's asexual. I'm moving on completely. What is this? What is this? Um, I still have no idea what this is. I have genuinely no clue what this enemy is or what it does. I'm honestly a little bit scared because I don't understand it. I guess I'm going to just say omnisexual, but I don't know. Next is the vicious rabbit. This is a rabbit that is corrupted and became an evil rabbit. We've been here before. It's a gay man. Like we've been here before. Um, Well, the same thing happens with the goldfish. The goldfish can become corrupted and bloody and fleshy. And I think when it becomes corrupted and bloody and fleshy, if it lets that happen to itself, I think it must be straight. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I know that a lot of people assume that straight is evil, but I actually don't think that straight is evil. I think straight is beautiful, and I think that this is an example of that. I think that this flesh, vicious, bloody goldfish is a beautiful, straight woman. Next is the vicious penguin. I have talked about how I feel about these penguins. They really stress me out. It's the same thing. It's like I can't see this vicious penguin dating anybody. And I know what you're thinking. They would date each other. No, they wouldn't. Don't even try to bring that up to me. Next is the voodoo demon. I have to say I'm not a fan of Terraria's inclusion of voodoo dolls or mentioning of voodoo in this way, and I just think it's ignorant. There's lots of things in Terraria that have been ignorant over time, and I think this is one of them. And yet it's still in the game because nobody cares. But anyway, I don't. I know this like has to be considered by like the game as like a different enemy, but it's like not. It just is a demon, but it's holding an object, so it's just the same as the demon. Next is the vulture. Oh, wait a second. Why is the wall of flesh here? I thought that was the wall of flesh. What's the difference? I'm going to assume that I wasn't wrong and that just I don't know. I don't know what was going on here. I'm just lumping them in together. Sorry to get ahead of myself, but the vulture. This is one of the last like original like enemies on this list. I don't know. It's kind of got this like hulking stance. It's like crazy. I always thought that vultures like lived in the far off distance, but they're nearby. They're always nearby. And I guess that's kind of how I feel about multisexual people. I feel like I always see them as off in the distance, but they're always nearby. Always. Next is the wall creeper. This one's a really hard one because I feel like it's split between asexual, lesbian, and omnisexual and multisexual. I don't know. I'm going to go with omnisexual because I think that's the most original thing to say about it. And now that I put it there, it really makes sense to me. It's just like the mouse, like putting it there really made me like be like, yes, I'm confident in this decision. I'm very glad I put it there. And now for the water strider. I wish that I could build this one up more because I love the water strider, but it's a lesbian. What else could it be? Literally, what else could it be? It has to be. It's striding along the water. It's that beautiful blue color. This is the reign of the lesbian storm. It's perfect. Oh God, the windy balloons. I'm gonna get to the windy balloons last. I'm actually going to skip them. I'm going to quickly get through these other ones. We will do the windy balloons last. Okay. Worms. Worms are perfect for storms, so I think it's natural to say that they're lesbians. Worms actually do not love the rain. They will just drown if they stay in the dirt while it's raining. But I do think that they love storms, so perfect for being a lesbian. The last dragonfly. Finally, it's over. My trauma is over. I feel the same way about the red slime as I do about the yellow slime. I already talked about it. I'm not going to put it in multisexual. It is, of course, sunshine colored. In a perfect world, this would be a beautiful, perfect representation of a gay man. But unfortunately, it's copying an omnisexual character, and it could be a lot better. But I think it's still good. Now for another butterfly, the last butterfly for real. And this one, I do think that this one is black and white because it has straight pride. I'm really sorry to say that because I know a lot of people are going to be literally so disappointed with me. I think this is a zebra swallowtail butterfly. If you love that butterfly in real life, I'm really sorry. If you love it in Terraria, I'm even more sorry. I do think that has straight pride. Yeah. Now we've got a whole bunch of zombies, and these zombies are dressing up for Christmas. And if you know anything about me, I don't like it when people dress up as Santa or an elf for Christmas. It does not make me happy. I think that Christmas really represents heteronormativity and like a nuclear family in a very specific way. Yeah, my roommate talked to me about it recently, and I agreed with my roommate. So if you have a problem with that, you don't have a problem with me. You have a problem with Scruckle Vortex. That's my roommate's name. Next is a nurse zombie. If you know anything about me, you will know that the nurse is my least favorite Terraria NPC. I really do not like her at all. But I do not dislike the nurse zombie. I actually quite like the nurse zombie, and I think that the nurse zombie is a gay man. I think there need to be more gay male nurses. I think we need more gay male nurses in the world and at Halloween parties. Next is a superhero zombie, and this one is so childish and juvenile. I do not appreciate dressing up as this stupid superhero. However, I do think it's asexual. Completely unrelatedly from me not liking that it's a superhero, I do think it's asexual. This one is crazy. I've never known what the zombie is supposed to be. I like literally no clue at all. And honestly, maybe I never will. I'm gonna zoom in. Is it a fairy? I don't know. I have no idea. It's crazy. All I know is that it's trying to embody the sun. And if I know one thing about the sun, it's that gay men worship it. Gay men drink the sun off of each other's skin. And finally, we have come down to the last zombie. And then we're doing the windy balloons, and then it's over. I can't believe it. I feel like this has been going on for my whole lifetime, and it's finally about to be over. And I'm sad. I'm really sad. But first, we have to do the zombie. And what's a better place to put it than omnisexual? What is a better place to put it than omnisexual? And now let's really talk about the windy balloons. So we have the stormy lesbian, the sunny gay man, the grassy multisexual, the lava straight, the purple asexual, and the bright blue omnisexual. And look at this here. We've got lava, sun, grass, blue, purple, and stormy. And of course we have orange. So it's like you would think that we would just put them in by the color, right? No. The windy balloons, their whole thing is that they're contrarians. They do not just fit in with their colors. They fit in with the colors you would least expect them to. This blue one is straight. This yellow one is asexual. This gray one is a gay man. This red one is omnisexual. This green one is multisexual. That's the truth. You would think like, oh, they're contrarian, so they would never like the multisexual one would never be green because green green grass, but that's the thing. They're such contrarians that they do it on multiple levels. They know that you would never expect for the green one to be with multisexual because that's not the theme for any of them, and they're like contrarian based on that. And the purple one is a lesbian. Yeah, it's really dark. Now, what about this orange one? You might be thinking, like, what's the orange one? What's the orange one? The orange one is straight. They're a heterosexual couple. I know. It's weird. It's twisted. Don't even get me started on the windy balloons. They are twisted creatures. But sorry to end it on kind of a low note, but this is all of the Terraria pre-hard mode enemies based on their sexualities. Yup, we've got some lesbians, we've got some gay men, we've got some multisexual ones, some straight ones, some asexual ones, and some omnisexual ones. I feel pretty confident about this list. I feel like if this list disappeared in front of me right now, I could rearrange this exactly perfectly. I would know exactly where all of them go, just off the top of my mind, because I'm so confident in this. And I hope that you agree with me. If you disagree with me, go ahead and comment that you disagree with me. If you want me to do another one of these, you know that I totally will. Tell me exactly what you want me to rank, and I will do it. Um, I know that there's lots of queer people in the Terraria fan base, lots of trans people. I know that you watching this right now must be an LGBTQ member, and I'm really glad that there's such a loving community. And I'm hoping that you agree with my list, and I'm also hoping that if you disagree with my list that you'll share with me your preferences and who you think fits everywhere. Let me know. I'm curious about what other people in this gorgeous community believe. But until next time, all I have to say is that is bye.